Hi, and welcome to the DC Marvel Battlecast, where we discuss all things DC and Marvel related, and we debate who would win in versus battle matchups. I'm Johnny DC.
And I'm his twin brother, Marvelous Joe.
The song you heard at the beginning was Brother by Gerard Way from the album Hesitant Alien, which is available on iTunes, Spotify, GooglePlay, wherever you buy or stream music. It's also on our Spotify playlist.
Yeah, don't forget to check us out on Spotify. If you like our intro songs, we have all of them there on a playlist. Just do a search for DC Marvel Battlecast. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @DCMarvelBattle.
Or you can email us at dcmarvelbattlecast@gmail.com. The song is appropriate for this final episode of 2016 because this is our first ever annual Brothers Awards.
Yep.
So if you're familiar with the mid-90s comic book series DC versus Marvel,
each the Marvel and DC universe were each represented by a brother. They didn't have names. They were just called the Brothers. Yeah, they were like cosmic beings, and the Marvel brother was red, and the DC brother was blue.
Right. So if you look at our podcast artwork for this episode, if you're listening to us on SoundCloud or you're listening to us on YouTube, you can see that our award statue is of the brothers.
Yes. And if you're not listening to us on those platforms, go ahead and check us out on Instagram, and we're going to upload all the images there, right, as well as our award images that we're going to talk about later on in the episode.
Right. But before that, we have a few news items to go through. Not a whole lot. Not the Justice League trailer. Gosh dang it. I was really hoping we were going to get that in 2016. It was like every morning I would wake up and just check like my RSS feed. No Justice League news, and just I'd die a little bit.
We'll probably get it in the beginning next month sometime, I'm thinking.
Since they didn't release it this year, I'm kind of hoping they wait until the Super Bowl, I guess.
I almost guarantee you they'll have a Super Bowl trailer for Justice League.
They better.
It's too big of a movie, I think. Although it doesn't come out until later in the year,
November,
in 2017.
Yeah.
But it's good to get hype going.
If not Justice League, then definitely Wonder Woman.
I have a feeling it'll be one of the most marketed movies this upcoming year. So
hopefully
start the hype train early.
Yay. Anyway, news items. So we're going to be talking about the Wonder Woman photo that shows her stealing a sword. We're going to talk about a bunch of casting news for Justice League, for Infinity War, and then even the Sony's new animated Spider-Man movie that they're coming out with. And then we're going into, I guess, a mini web series about Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes, they had a mini web series called Slingshot. It was almost like one of those Marvel one-shots, except it was a half hour long. It was pretty good. I liked it.
Nice. Okay, so let's get started. So Wonder Woman. Warner Brothers released, or I guess it was on Entertainment Weekly. I forgot where the source was.
Yeah, it was on Entertainment Weekly, which I am actually subscribed to now, by the way.
They release a lot of great stuff.
They do.
They're actually owned by Time Warner.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh,
so a lot of great DC news comes from great news in general, I guess. But they released a photo of the Wonder Woman from the Wonder Woman movie of Diana stealing. Or they say she's stealing. She's grabbing a sword, like this golden, like really badass looking sword within like this kind of like twirling cage kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So it's up on a pedestal, kind of like I don't know, like the Master Sword or something. It looks like it's... Yeah. Wait, is it floating? I can't remember.
Well, it's like suspended within this like cage.
So it's like magic. It's like a magic
pedestal.
Well,
no, I mean it's not. You could see like where it's anchored in. It's the cage like comes into a point from the top and the bottom.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like resting in between those 2 points. It's actually like pretty good, like just set design, I think.
Yeah.
It's
very golden.
Yeah.
But it looks. You know what it reminds me of? Did you ever see Immortals? I think like the whole...
Oh, is that the one? That has Henry Cavill in it.
It does, yeah. I think they're like the whole Themyscira design with like all the gold and everything like that, but with like the muted background colors with these pops of gold. It almost feels like inspired by the Immortals movie.
Well, I don't think the Themyscira shots are muted at all. I think they're like really colorful.
Not like the sea, but the interior shot is with like the gray stone walls and everything like that. I think it looks pretty good. I think she looks pretty good.
She does.
That shot.
Yeah, she's wearing like that golden outfit that kind of matches her set. It's just a good photo.
So the sword is named in Entertainment Weekly.
The God Killer.
The blurb. Yeah, it's called the God Killer.
Yeah.
So, is that a little foreshadowing there?
Yeah, this is interesting because you'll notice I might be getting into spoiler territory here. Not yet. I'll warn you when I'm getting.
Well, this is speculations.
Well, yeah, possibly, I guess. So, this is not the same sword that she has in BVS.
Right. Is it?
No, okay. It's not. So she's not using the God Killer sword in BVS. If you'll notice, the sword she uses in BVS has like this this kind of like rope-looking type hilt onto the sword.
Okay.
I believe like in books talking about like the art of the film of BVS, they called it the Sword of Athena or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. But this one is called the God Killer sword. It looks different. It has like these two creatures kind of going up the hilt. It doesn't have very much of like a crossbar, but it has like these two like creatures like going. So it kind of like forms like a circle at the base of the sword.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So this is the rumor, and this is where I'm getting into spoiler territory.
Speculation territory.
Speculation territory is that Diana believes that Ares is responsible for World War One. Mm-hmm. So she steals the sword because it's capable of killing him, and she goes out to defeat him and stop him. But I guess that was Ares' plan all along because he wants the sword because it's the only sword capable of allowing him to overtake Olympus. So he kind of like fell into her trap. So
she kind of fell into his trap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she fell into his trap of taking the sword outside of Themyscira.
Mm-hmm.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So
then I guess at the end of Wonder Woman, again speculation, the sword is lost. So she spends like the next 100 years, like her whole time on Earth after Wonder Woman is looking for that sword. That's why in BVS she's like she's looking at the sword of Alexander the Great or something like that. She's just looking at swords, trying to find the God Killer.
Where did you hear this?
I forget.
You just made it up in your head?
No, I didn't make it up. I read it.
You read it somewhere?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm sure it was like on some message board or thread.
So is God Killer in reference to Greek gods, or is it in reference to, say, Darkseid?
Oh, well, yeah, that's another thing. I think it's just...
Or the new gods.
Both. I think it's in reference to both. I think it was used... Like, you'll probably see at the beginning of the Justice League film when they do, like, their flashback to, like, when Darkseid's forces were invading Earth, and I think the sword helped stop that.
Do you think the Greek gods are the new gods?
No.
In this continuity?
No,
Do you think they'll combine them?
No. I mean, they're not combined in the comics universe. I think because there's a whole reason that the new gods are the new gods is because, like, the Greek gods are the old ones.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Cool.
So, really cool photo. Really looking forward to seeing that scene and how that sword is used because it's a badass sword. So.
Does it do anything besides just cut things?
We don't know.
You say it's a badass sword.
You don't think it looks badass? It looks cooler than the one she used in Wonder Woman, I think.
I didn't know they were separate swords. And if they were, I probably would have just chalked it up to a different design. Because her costume looks a little bit different in this movie, too. There's a few minor differences than the one in BVS.
They're different.
So
for sure.
I would have just chalked it up to the same exact reason for that. So, anyway.
Justice League cast report has confirmed the return of Lex Luthor, Martha Kent, and Queen Hippolyta.
Hippolyta.
Hippolyta. How are we pronouncing Hippolyta?
It's Hippolyta.
Okay.
So they're returning into the Justice League movie. It's interesting to see that Hippolyta is going to be in Justice League.
To me, that's the most surprising one.
That is the most surprising
I'm not surprised Lex Luthor is going to be in it just because of...
I'm kind of bummed that he's going to be in it.
What? Nah.
No, it's not surprising, though.
Well, because like he's the one who kind of is setting up the Justice League sequel in the DC film universe.
Right, in BVS.
In BVS. You know, I heard something interesting recently about his like sort of setup scene at the end of the film where Batman like interrogates him and then he's screaming at Batman.
Yeah.
And he's going like ding 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 ding. I read someone say like, wouldn't it be great if he switched at the very end his dings to pings?
ping, 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 ping,
ping, ping, ping, ping.
That's stupid. Can you imagine hearing him say ping, 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 though?
Well, I mean, it's weird just hearing him saying ding, ding. It would actually make it cooler if he said ping.
Except when the mother boxes, because the mother box make a ping sound.
Yeah, the mother boxes.
It doesn't actually sound like somebody saying ping. It sounds like an actual like bell kind of thing.
Sort of like a click. I imagine like a sonar kind of like submarine kind of ping.
Yeah, and so he wouldn't be able to speak to the mother box by mouthing the word ping.
Well, no, he's not speaking to. I'm not saying he's speaking to the mother box. He's shouting what he heard, I guess, because the deleted scene when you see Steppenwolf with the mother boxes,
you can still rationalize that he is doing that, making the mother box sound.
Yeah, but it would have been like more of a comic callback if it was ping.
I guess.
Anyway, he's confirmed to be in the Justice League film. Yeah. Not surprising. I guess it's semi-surprising that Martha Kent is going to be in there.
Considering Superman's dead, right?
He's not only... I mean, Lois Lane is going to be the film for sure. And actually, this cast report kind of spoils the fact that Henry Cavill is coming back for Justice League.
What?
Which was spoiled by the photo they released last year, maybe.
Yeah.
But
well, it's obvious he's going to be in Justice League.
Yeah, he's definitely coming back. So that's exciting. But I guess Lois Lane is going to be in the film, and she needs some kind of other kind of tether anchor to that set of Superman characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's not. I shouldn't be surprised that she's in the film. I am surprised Queen Hippolyta is in the film, if only because of the fact that, again, kind of going into spoiler speculation territory about Wonder Woman. If Wonder Woman isn't returning to the island without that sword, without the God Killer sword, then
we wouldn't be seeing. So either she is returning to Themyscira, or, and I think the speculation is that Hippolyta is being used in a flashback. Because like the rumored mythology of everything is that the Atlanteans, the Themyscirans, and the humans.
Right. Yeah, that's right. The flashback.
They like fight Darkseid's minions in the first invasion or something like that. They bury the mother boxes, which we saw part of in the initial trailer.
Yeah.
So
the Comic-Con
sneak peek. So kind of like how Thor started out with a flashback to Norway when like the Frost Giants invaded Earth and Odin and the Asgardians kind of defended Midgard. It might be along the same lines where we see a flashback with Hippolyta and the Themyscirans or Greek soldiers fighting back the Apocalyptans, I guess you call them.
The Parademons.
Parademons.
That's true. I'm not sure why I didn't think about that. I wonder if her role is only going to be designated to that flashback. Or if I wonder she'll pop up like in modern time. I don't think she will. I don't think Wonder Woman is going to get the sword back at the end of her film. I think they're going to save it maybe for the end of Justice League, so that it sort of sets up how she could take out Darkseid, or they have a weapon powerful enough to take out Darkseid now. I don't know. Or Steppenwolf. Who knows?
Maybe they combine the Godkiller sword with the Green Lantern ring with a batarang. And then they just kind of like throw it.
They tie the lasso to the end of the sword hilt, and they just swing it around.
Yep.
No, ultimately, I think that like their secret weapon to defeat Steppenwolf is Superman, and I think their secret weapon to defeating Darkseid is maybe the Godkiller sword, maybe Green Lantern. I don't know. Speculation.
Yeah. Is that it for that news?
Yeah.
So along the same lines, there was a cast list that was released for the Avengers Infinity War movie. And it was on movieandcastingcall.org. It's nothing too surprising. What's more surprising is who is not on the cast list, as opposed to who is. So the cast list is all of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, everybody. I can't remember their names now. The guy who plays Batista.
Dave Bautista. That's right.
Dave Bautista. God,
who does Rocket Raccoon's voice?
I know his name. Bradley Cooper. Jeez, why can't I remember names?
I was like, it starts with a B. Brian.
Vin Diesel's gonna be in there too. So all the Guardians. And Nebula is also gonna be in there, which is not too surprising because Nebula actually plays a role in the Infinity Gauntlet comic book.
Right.
She played a role in that where she kind of usurped the Gauntlet for a while. But like Mantis is not on there, and I don't think I saw Yondu Let me just double check. Yeah, Yondu wasn't on there either. So Mantis and Yondu, the rumor is that they were going to join the team. I don't know what will happen at the end of the Guardians, but apparently they're not going to be in the next film. We do know that Thanos, well, according to the comic, we don't know this. According to the comic, he made half the world's population, or half of the universe's population, disappear. Right. So it may be reasonable to speculate that while Yondu and Mantis join the Guardians of the Galaxy in the second Guardians of the Galaxy film, they may be a few of the ones that disappear. It's all random who disappears. And that's like, so Spider-Man is on this list. Tom Holland, he's not part of the cast. So we may not be seeing Spider-Man in the Infinity War film.
Well, do you think this means that like they'll be in the film, or they'll only have like a small brief cameo in the film and then all of a sudden disappear because Thanos killed them or caused them to not exist?
I think you need to have at least some people disappear. Like some people actually show up on set and then show them acting, disappearing, and then they're no longer in the film, except for maybe at the end. But like you don't need to have everybody who's not in the film. You don't need to have a separate disappearing scene for them. Also noticeably not on this list are any of the Defenders. We don't have Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, or Iron Fist.
Which is, I was really hoping that was going to be the case. That was like sort of like my wish list for how the Defenders will like sort of become integrated with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Was that like they would have a brief cameo when half the universe's population dies.
Right.
If they do that in the film.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of bummed about that. Everyone from Civil War is in the film except for Spider-Man. But Ant-Man's going to be in there. Black Panther's going to be in there.
Winter Soldier.
Hawkeye, Winter Soldier, Bucky. Yeah, Bucky's going to be part of it. So it's just interesting.
It's a huge ass cast.
I mean, if you had everybody in the Marvel Universe, it quickly becomes probably unwieldy. Although I thought that about the Avengers movie, but I think Joss Whedon really balanced that cast well. But then again, that's only 6 people. This is going to like more than double that if you have everybody, including the Defenders and everything. So,
well, I mean, this everything from Avengers to this point has been leading up to Infinity War.
Right.
So, and everything before Avengers was leading up to Avengers. So, in essence, this is, definitely the biggest. When is this film coming out?
May 2018.
Okay, so not next year.
Right. But I should say that Thor and Hulk are in it too, because they weren't in Civil War. But yeah, so the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy, but not Spider-Man and not the Defenders.
This is basically so huge. Like, where does Marvel go after Infinity War?
That's a good question.
They need Galactus. They need the Fantastic Four.
I would love for them to get the rights to the Fantastic Four by that point and start building toward Galactus.
That'd be great.
That would be epic. Yeah. I think that's the next epic thing you could do.
After Thanos.
After Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. So,
I agree.
So yeah, that's pretty much that news. How do you feel about all those people not being in it? I think it's just.
Well, it's only the Defenders and Spider-Man. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I mean.
And a couple of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. So. Well, I'm kind of sad Mantis isn't there. I hope she doesn't die. I hope Yondu doesn't die. Although if anyone dies, it's probably going to be Yondu. I don't know, Michael Rooker from The Walking Dead. Oh, wait, did he die in The Walking Dead?
Yeah, he died. Forget. Yeah, early on.
I don't know. He just has that.
Oh, no, in the second season. I'm sorry. Anyway, you know what I was going to say? You know who else is surprisingly not on this list, cast list? Tom Hiddleston. I don't know if Loki's going to be in the Infinity War. Seems like he's not. Which is interesting because I always assumed that Loki was going to kind of play... Because, like... So, how many Infinity Stones? If the Soul Gem ends up being in Thor Ragnarok, it might be reasonable to say that the Soul Gem ends up on Asgard at the end of that film. And then that means that 2 of the Infinity Stones will be on Asgard. If Loki finds a way to get those to Thanos, then he could almost play a type of role that Mephisto played in the comic book. Because in the comic book, Mephisto kind of played like a servant to Thanos.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah, no, he was like there, and he was kind of like advising him kind of a little bit. Mm-hmm. Although his end game was to get the gauntlet. But he was there with like Star Fox and with Nebula and Death. That was kind of like the group that was all huddled around Thanos during his time of power.
Right.
So I thought maybe like Loki would serve as kind of like a Mephisto advisor role, like subservient role to Thanos, kind of like the guy who's, in Guardians of the Galaxy, Ronan snapped the guy's neck. He was called I forgot what he was called. He was like Thanos' like servant messenger person. I thought Loki could serve that role.
He has like 6 fingers or...
Yeah, so like, like the Mephisto type servant role.
Yeah.
So I thought that'd be cool. But
I can't remember. Was Mephisto in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Ghost Rider?
No. The one, Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider acted on behalf of Mephisto when Robbie Reyes sold his soul. So Mephisto is technically in the Marvel Universe.
We just haven't established.
We haven't seen him.
We haven't seen him. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't make sense now if Loki isn't in the movie. He's not going to play that role.
Yeah. So I don't know who's going to be like, because you're going to need to have someone for Thanos to talk to, I guess, when he's like contemplating what he's going to do with the universe and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess. So I don't know.
I remember reading something about Kevin Feige responding to the question of whether or not Hela was going to be a stand-in for Death.
Uh-huh.
And I think he said no, but he could just be lying. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember that. She could be. I don't know. His motivations in the comic were to impress Death. That's why he got the gauntlet in the first place.
Right.
And to carry out her order of because there was like more people alive at that point than had ever died, and she thought it was a cosmic imbalance, so he sought to right that imbalance. But his motivations in this movie may be entirely different. Death may not even play a factor into it.
Well, they had that line at the end of the Avengers where it's like to challenge Earth is to court Death or something like that.
Yeah, and then he smiled. That was a good line.
That was a great line. I was like, oh shit.
But I just don't see them personifying Death.
Yeah.
So if he does, he's going to kind of worship it as an abstract and just look like a crazy person whose motivation basically is to kill as many people as he can.
Yeah.
Which is kind of dark.
Very dark. Maybe too dark. Too dark for a Marvel movie?
Maybe too dark. So I think they would almost have to use Hela, whatever.
I hope they use her.
Kate Blanchett. But although Kate Blanchett is not on the cast list. Let me double check.
Well, damn it. There goes all my theories.
Yeah.
I have no idea what to expect from this film now.
Blanche. No, yeah, she's not in there either. So, who knows? And okay, so disclaimer, after everything that we've said, maybe this isn't a full cast list. You never know.
It's true.
So, we can only speculate from there.
The film is still quite a ways away. Have they even started filming yet? They haven't started.
No, they'll start filming next in January, I think.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What about the casting for the animated Spider-Man movie? Okay,
so part of the deal with Marvel is Sony is going to start producing live-action films with Tom Holland, and they're also going to do animated films. So there's an animated Spider-Man film coming out in 2019, and it had long been theorized and rumored that this was going to be the Miles Morales version of Spider-Man. So the live-action version of Sony Spider-Man is going to be Tom Holland or Peter Parker, and the animated version was going to be Miles Morales since he has such a following. And this new casting call from Backstage.com seems to confirm that it will be Miles Morales, because I'll go ahead and read the description.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, I'll read the description of the main character. A young African-American Puerto Rican teen from Brooklyn.
Oh, gosh.
He is... He is new to this suburban high school and now feeling out of place, overwhelmed, pressured with new responsibilities, and dealing with puberty. While trying to fit in, he must do his best to stay out of trouble. Along the way, in developing his identity, he's losing old friends, but now making a new one, Pete. And they're using fake names for this cast list, as well as like a fake movie title and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But the description for Pete sounds exactly like Gonk or Gonky or however you pronounce it. I'm going to have to look that up one day. But the description for him is a young, slightly geeky Asian-American teen. He's smart, sweet, and encouraging, although very unlike any of the friends Terrence had in his old Brooklyn neighborhood. Pete proves to be a good fit for Terrence, making good decisions.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely Miles Morales.
Yes.
I wonder how audiences are going to respond to that. Because how knowledgeable is the general audiences with
do they know that there are multiple Spider-Men?
I doubt it.
They'll have to explain that, basically. Because when they announced that there's going to be when they announced that there's going to be a Spider-Man movie coming out, and people see that he's wearing a black costume and it's not Peter Parker, there's going to be a lot of confusion.
For sure.
I'm wondering if these animated films will or will not take place in their own universe or as part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I would be really surprised if there was any animated film that coincided with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I think it's going to be its own thing.
Yes.
I think this is also an opportunity for them to use like their own characters that they have wanted to use in the past, like Venom, like, you know, create their own Venom movie and stuff like that. It allows them to use these characters without interfering with Marvel's plans for the Spider-Man character in the MCU.
Yes.
I guess. Yeah, I guess I'm just curious how people are going to respond. It's like people didn't respond well to Catwoman, and it wasn't because, like, you know, she was. It was because she was a different character. It was because it wasn't the Selena Kyle that we know and have read about. Right. You know, and
it wasn't even Selena Kyle. It was
right.
Patience
Phillips.
Yeah.
Patience Price. I think it was originally Patience Price, and then they changed it to Patience Phillips.
Right.
So, yeah, how do you feel about that?
I think my initial thought is I'm wondering, is Miles Morales' fan base really that big to, you know, give him his own film? And if you do, does he get, you know, do you get sequels from that? Like animated Spider-Man sequels with Miles Morales? Do we ever see an animated Peter Parker? Does it matter since we have the live action version of Peter Parker? Will it make enough money since people aren't familiar with the character? Or I think a majority of the populace aren't familiar with the character.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a direct-to-video thing. It seems like this is like a full theatrical release.
Yes.
Like the Lego Batman movie. Yeah. I guess if you could have Lego Batman and Ben Affleck, you could probably have this as well.
That's a good point. That's kind of what I'm guessing. It'll be concurrent, like, timelines, I guess, or universes, but they won't even really address that. Like Lego Batman doesn't address, this is its own timeline different from the DC.
Well, it kind of, you have the sequence in the Lego Batman trailer where it shows Batman going against Superman.
Right.
So they kind of, you know, tongue-in-cheek kind of reference it.
That's true. Well, interestingly, in the Ultimate Comics, Miles Morales became Spider-Man after Peter Parker died.
Right.
Peter Parker died. So in this, will we have a dead Peter Parker in this animated film?
That's a big question I have right now. Is like, are we going to see Peter Parker? Are we going to have Peter Parker referenced at all in this film? And if you do, you kind of have to show him. I mean, do you? Maybe not. Maybe you don't.
So we're asking a lot of questions, basically, but we're not answering any. And really, we don't have the answers. But I think if I were to speculate on what I would like to see, I would not like to see Peter Parker. I would like to see Miles Morales going up against villains that we won't ever really see in the MCU, like
Venom.
Venom, yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that you could even alter Miles Morales' origin so that, I don't know.
So that his suit is black because of Venom.
Something like that.
Huh.
People are more familiar with Venom. So if you are going to, like, get people on board with some kind of, you know, like, familiarity, that may not be a terrible route to go.
Yeah, and if they are starting a new kind of movie Marvel universe, animated universe with this movie, I'd like to see them introduce other characters like in subsequent animated films, such as like Amadeus Cho's Hulk or Ms. Marvel, and things like that. Kind of like take it in a different direction. Maybe get like the Young Avengers in there or something like that. I think that'd be cool.
I wonder would Marvel let them do that?
I think so. I don't think I couldn't see them ever having plans to do like a Young Avengers live action film.
I don't know, man, because what do you do when, like, Bruce Banner and Tony Stark... I thought the whole reason, like, Marvel Comics was doing this right now, sort of replacing their heroes, was because they knew they would eventually have to do it in the cinematic universe as well.
Perhaps. I think they might be hedging their bets that way, so they can do that, but my guess is that they won't do that anytime soon. I think they'll just recast the same way, you know, the whole Edward Norton, Mark Ruffalo situation. I think they'll recast.
Or War Machine.
Right. Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So... Yeah, I'm actually interested in hearing what you guys think about that.
Yeah, I know Miles Morales has a pretty big fan base, and I think he's cooler than Spider. He has cooler powers than Peter Parker, I think. So yeah. I'm definitely interested in him. I've never read anything with him, but he seems interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to do a battle cast with him sometime soon.
Yes.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think about the Miles Morales character in the new animated film via Twitter or something like that. Shout out to us, because I'm interested in getting your thoughts. And we'll go ahead and read them on the next episode if we get enough responses.
Yeah. So it looks like all the casting news.
Yeah, that's all the casting news. So the last bit of news involves the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. web miniseries called Slingshot. I don't want to get too much into it because, it's short enough that if you're a fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you should watch it. It's worth watching. If you're a fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and you're wondering whether or not it was worth to watch this miniseries about Yo-Yo, the main character in the miniseries is Yo-Yo. Although all the cast members are actually in it, the story follows her. It's worth watching, I think. It's pretty well done. It reminds me of what the Marvel one-shots that they used to do, but longer. I think it's a good example. Like, if you don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and you're curious as to whether or not it's good, I think this miniseries is actually pretty well produced. And it tells the story of Yo-Yo. I don't know if you know who Yo-Yo is.
No idea.
She was part of the Secret Warriors from the comics and in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And she has the power to... She's fast, but she snaps back to her original point at the end of one heartbeat. So she's like Quicksilver, but she bounces back to her original location.
Oh, that's interesting. You could have some interesting special effects with
that. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, they do interesting stuff with her in the TV show. I think what's novel, I guess, about this miniseries is that they give us a look into the aspect of the Sokovia Accords that we didn't get in Marvel Civil War. So we actually see what it's like, what the process is of signing up for the Accords, what you have to go through. So basically, you have to sign the document, and you have to get a physical. They put a watch on you with a GPS tracker that monitors your movement and everything like that. I just thought that was interesting, just seeing that process.
Real quick side note. Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you this for a while. Do you think Spider-Man signs the Sokovia Accords?
Yes, I think he does
for Homecoming. So he'll have that tracker and stuff like that.
Yes, he will. I'm kind of hoping that they kind of do away with the Sokovia Accords, maybe by the time the Infinity War movie happens. Mm-hmm. It's kind of unclear at what state they are in at the end of the Civil War, but I guess they're still effective. They're still enacted because everybody's still at the Raft prison. So they explained that if you take off that watch and they find you doing, unregistered or unlicensed or unsupervised heroics, you go to the Raft prison. They explained to her.
Because Spider-Man Homecoming is the next MCU film on slate, right? So
no, Guardians of the Galaxy is.
Oh, well, I mean, they're not going to touch on the Sokovia Accords in Guardians of the Galaxy, though.
Right.
So if they do touch on it again, it probably should be in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Right.
We'll see if they do.
Yeah, we'll see if he has that watch that they gave to Yo-Yo.
Anyway, back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Back to the Slingshot. It was novel in that it showed the whole registration process. And basically the story goes around her. If you're familiar with the show, her brother is killed, and so it's basically her revenge story. She's going after the guy who killed her brother. And if you old school Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans, if you dropped out of the show, if you remember in the second episode, there was an 084, which is an unknown device, ends up being a Hydra weapon, an early experimental Hydra weapon that uses the Tesseract energy. That plays a role in this miniseries as well. So that's pretty much all I want to say. But I don't want to get too much into it because I think, one, it's not worth spoiling if you're not interested because you won't care. And two, it's not worth spoiling if you are interested because it's short enough to watch that you can easily just, crank it out.
Do you know why they made it? Like, why not just integrate the storyline into the TV show?
So the reason they made it's possible that they shot this footage to include in the TV show and it was just cut and they decided to make it a miniseries. But the reason they made it is that they always have some kind of miniseries in the mid-season break for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent Carter used to serve that purpose for the past 2 years. they would release the Agent Carter miniseries in the mid-season break.
Oh.
Because the first season of Agent Carter was only 6 episodes, and the second was 8 episodes.
Uh-huh.
So we have this little miniseries, which is 6 episodes, although much shorter. There's 6 5-minute episodes that you can watch in this mid-season break.
Did Joe Quesada direct this?
No.
I think I remember hearing, like, he's getting into directing, and I don't know if he's, like, going to direct an upcoming episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think he is.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't sure if maybe Slingshot was what he directed. I can't remember.
I don't think so. I might be wrong on that, but I didn't read anything about that when I was watching the show. So, yep, that's pretty much it. Cool. Yeah, check it out if you're a fan. If you're not a fan, it's short enough. Maybe check out a few episodes and maybe, judge what it would be like watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. off of that, I guess.
Are you trying to pitch me? Like, saying I should, because I don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, I don't expect you to, because you're a hater. You're a Marvel hater, so.
You watch Invasion, and I'll watch this.
I watched part of Invasion. I watched the end fight, and I was surprised that it only lasted like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was short.
It was shorter than I thought it was going to be. So you would almost have to watch it in slow motion to really appreciate everything that happens in those 2 moments.
Going on within the frame.
Yeah. So I think that does it for the news.
Yeah.
So end of the year, let's go ahead and talk about what we thought was the best and what was the worst of 2016.
Let's get into it. All right, welcome to our first annual Brothers Awards.
Yay!
Yay! First 2016 awards. First, before I start, I just want to thank everyone who has listened to us since the beginning of the year. We started this mid-January, so it's been the full year. So if you've stuck with us this whole time, again, thank you. We
appreciate it.
Yeah, we're going to go over basically a recap of the whole year. We're going to hand out, say what we thought were the best moments, some of the worst moments.
And the runners-up.
Specifically, we'll be talking about what we thought was the best news item, best trailer, best original music, best television series that ended in the spring of 2016.
Right.
Best on-screen moment, best on-screen villain, best new on-screen hero, best actor, best actress, and finally, the best motion picture.
Right. So kind of like our podcast itself, these awards have less to do with the comics and more to do with other media, on-screen media.
Right.
So
let's start off with best news. Go ahead and start with Marvel. I guess the best news item is essentially like anything we discussed in the news section.
Yeah, something that got us most excited.
Definitely.
Like, when you saw the news, you like had one of those like fangasms kind of thing. Like, oh my god. And you texted everybody, you posted it on Facebook, things like that,
Yeah, right. So for Marvel, I'll guess what you chose as your best moment before you actually reveal it.
Okay.
I haven't given any thought to this, by the way. Let's see. I would say your best news item was...
What was the thing that we talked about that you think got you the most excited?
Marvel-wise?
Yes.
Something with Infinity War. I think that's the most exciting thing to come about. But it can't be the cast list that we just went over. I don't know. Maybe something with the Infinity Stones. I guess maybe Doctor Strange, the critical reception. No, what are we talking about? The Civil War trailer.
The Civil War trailer?
Civil War trailer, final answer.
No, the Civil War trailer came out actually last year in 2015, at the end of 2015. But, okay, so I'm just going to say it since you take this. So the thing that I thought, the award that I give to for Best Marvel News Item in 2016 goes to the announcement regarding the Inhuman series and IMAX film.
Oh.
I think that was the biggest news. I mean, at first, when I first heard the news, I was a little bit in shock, and I was a little disappointed because we wouldn't be getting the film. But we really are still getting a film. And not only that, we're getting something that may change the way that we consume this long-form superhero content. I can see a lot more of this happening in the future if this Inhuman series is successful. And I can see easily like the X-Men being introduced into the Marvel Universe, or Fantastic Four being introduced to the Marvel Universe in this same fashion, where they get a movie and a miniseries on ABC.
That's a great choice, because it definitely is like a game changer, like more than anything else.
Right.
That's
and
great.
DC could totally do it on the CW too. It could change. Yeah, I can see, and other, how like there's a lot of studios that are copying Marvel, the whole shared universe kind of concept, like MGM is doing it, or MGM, MGM is doing it with their monsters. Universal, I'm sorry. But yeah, they might do something like that, because on NBC, where they introduce like characters, or they continue their universe on television and in the film and in theaters.
Well, DC kind of does the reverse, because like they gauged interest in Suicide Squad by first debuting them on Arrow.
Right.
So instead of like doing a movie followed by a TV show, we
imagine if they used the actors that were in the movie in the TV show. That'd be kind of interesting. Although we know they're different universes. So So that was the Brother Award for Best Marvel News Item. The runner-up for Best Marvel News Item was the New York Comic-Con Defenders panel. Just the news that came out of that regarding the fact that we're going to get the series in 2017, and Sigourney Weaver is going to be the villain, and actually. Also released during that time was the news that we were going to get the Punisher television series. Oh yeah, this year as well. This coming year.
So
as well.
Your two biggest news items were television related.
Both of them were television related.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And the worst news item that I think that we got was the fact when we heard that Tim Miller was departing Deadpool 2 over creative differences.
Yeah. You were depressed.
Yeah, that kind of broke my heart. So that gets the worst. Although we're not officially handing out an award for that, I just wanted to mention we're also naming the worst of 2016. So yeah, Tim Miller leaving Deadpool sucked, and it's cool that we got David Leitch, but it's as much as I liked Deadpool, and as much of a hit as it was, and it seemed like Deadpool 2 was going to be just like a sure thing. Now it's not. Now it's kind of a wild card.
Have you seen John Wick yet?
No, I still have to see John Wick.
I think you wouldn't be as disappointed if you saw that. I'm still looking forward to Deadpool 2. I don't think I don't think Tim Miller is what made Deadpool. I think we went over this before, but I think it's more Ryan Reynolds. So.
I don't know. We'll see.
I guess we'll find out.
All right. So yeah, that was best Marvel news item. Best DC news item. 2016. Yeah. If I had to guess, I think it would be the news that Jeff Johns would be heading up the new DC Films division.
Are you peeking?
No,
Are you
not
looking
peeking.
at my computer?
No, that was the biggest news of the year, I think, in regards to DC Films. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was. Just the fact that we have some kind of leader, like a Kevin Feige, in charge of DC.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. He's really gonna make sure that the upcoming films are better than what they've been.
We hope. I hope for sure.
Yeah.
I know there's still a lot of naysayers out there on the internet who kind of question how much involvement he really has. Mm-hmm. But he has the title, so I think he's going to do great things with it. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to start seeing that when Wonder Woman rolls around. So
I think he has fantastic ideas. I'm a big fan of a lot of his. The
guy's
a
genius. Yeah, his comics are great. Rebirth, it was great. It's to me that's still the best thing to come out of this year in itself. 2016 has been the biggest year to be a DC fan in a really long time. We haven't had movies for the past 2 years. This year we get 2 movies. We get Rebirth. So in with Watchmen and everything that may lead into. Mm-hmm. It's such a great year to be DC. I think if we're not doing a publisher award, but I think DC would get the publisher award just because of everything they're doing and starting to do.
We wouldn't base that off sales, I guess.
Whatever. Actually, no. Actually, Rebirth has been leading the year in sales too.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's been a really strong year for DC. And I think a lot of that has to do with Jeff Johns. Even though he hasn't really been involved with DC Comics since his new role as the head of DC Films, mm-hmm. I think he's a great pioneer and a great leader. So I'm really looking forward to see what's coming out of this.
What? One thing real quick we didn't mention at the start of this episode was that Gerard Way, the guy who sang Brother, which is the opening song.
Right.
He is a writer for DC Comics.
He's an editor for DC Comics. He
writes Doom Patrol, I think.
He writes Doom Patrol. He writes Cave Carson Has a Robotic Eye. I don't know if he writes Prez.
The dude has won like an Eisner Award or something, right?
Yeah. He's put Doom Patrol, I guess, won like best comic of the year according to IGN or something like that. Yeah,
he's a good chap.
Yeah. He's he has a specific title at DC too. I forget what it is. Young Animal editor or something like that, because that's like it's sort of like Vertigo or like Wildstorm.
Okay.
He runs Young Animal, which takes place in DC continuity. But it is like its own like darker kind of more surreal kind of take on the universe.
Interesting.
Yeah. So one more reason why that song was perfect. So it was nice when that falls into place.
Yeah. So it was the runner-up.
My runner-up was the Justice League set visit. That got me super excited.
Oh yeah.
When
I never read that set visit, but I remember you talked about it a lot.
Yeah, it was like Birth. The writers from like Birth Movies, Death, and like Collider, and another one. They got invited to the set report. It was like really the first news we got from Justice League. We learned about Batman's like tactical suit. We learned about like the flying fox and
a couple of the scenes.
Yeah, scene descriptions, which got me super pumped. Mm-hmm. They sounded like a lot of fun. So I remember being really excited by that. My least favorite, like the news item regarding DC that got me like most depressed, was the critical response to Batman v Superman.
Oh.
I'm still kind of bummed about that.
It was like in the leading week up into the film, like there was a lot of people saying...
Oh my gosh. On Twitter, everyone was saying it was so great. And so I was like super surprised to hear that like it couldn't even break 30% on the Rotten Tomato meter.
Yeah, it was interesting because all the fans were saying it was fantastic. All the people that got advanced screenings and everything like that, all the fans were saying it was great, and then all the critics were saying it was like bad. And not only bad, but like 28 or 26, I think 27 it ended up at is a
around
damn low
around there.
It's a pretty low score.
Yeah. And I think it's still something that it is referenced a lot whenever you're talking about the DC film universe online. Is just the critical response of the films, and it was more heartbreaking for Batman v Superman for me rather than Suicide Squad, because it's Batman and Superman,
right?
So
I think the expectations were higher for that film to be really good
for me,
as opposed to Suicide Squad,
for sure.
Yeah, that was hard, but I think if you were happy with it, it was mixed, and while you would have liked everybody to have loved it, that's not quite what Zack Snyder was going for, I don't think. I don't know if he was going for a universally acclaimed film or if he was trying to enact his specific vision, which is mixed.
Yeah.
You still liked the film.
I did like the film.
The Ultimate
and I like it
more.
I like it more every time I watch it, honestly. It gets better and better.
The Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
We don't talk about
the theatrical one. So yeah, that's the worst news item, I thought. So moving on to best trailer. So this is the only criteria for this category was just that it had to be a trailer released in 2016. So for you, I'm going to say that was Guardians of the Galaxy.
No.
Damn it!
That's incorrect. So definitely the best trailer that came out this year from Marvel, on Marvel's side, was, and not necessarily Marvel Studios, I mean just Marvel in general, Logan trailer won.
Oh, what the... Where am I? What am I doing? Again, I put no thought into this. I should have guessed that. I think that was the best trailer on either end, Marvel or DC.
Yeah, it was definitely the best trailer of the year. The music was fantastic. What they're setting up, like the vision that they portrayed, the tone of the film, and like I got feels just watching the trailer. Seeing Patrick Stewart, the performances look like they're going to be amazing, and I think it's going to be a really great send off for Hugh Jackman playing this role. Whether or not he shows up later, as it's kind of rumored that he might show up in a Deadpool film or something like that.
Oh yeah,
this will definitely be his last full film, non-cameo role.
Yeah. So there was that whole kind of weird thing that happened earlier this week where it was announced that Deadpool was going to appear in Logan, and then the director and all the actors were like, no. And then, like, someone from the Hollywood Reporter was like, well, something is going to happen with the two characters. It's not going to be in Logan, but it's going to happen somewhere.
Yeah. And the way they're releasing the next trailer, which should be coming out soon here, is they're sending out frames of the trailer to all the fans who sign up.
Yeah,
I did sign up for that.
I tried signing up for that. It didn't accept my address, jerks.
They'll be mailing me a frame of
a postcard, right?
Postcard of the trailer.
That's good marketing. Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and post that, and then all the fans will post theirs, and we'll get to kind of see what the trailer looks like. So that's exciting. That was definitely the best trailer. Runner-up was the Guardians of the Galaxy teaser trailer.
Okay.
And a lot of people confuse that. They think that's trailer 1. So there was the sneak peek, which I thought was a teaser trailer, but it was officially dubbed as a sneak peek.
Right.
So the teaser trailer is the one that we most recently got with the Fox on the Run song, where like Rocket says don't push this button, you know.
Right.
And we have Groot saying I am Groot. I thought that was a fantastic trailer. It got me really pumped for the film. And which I kind of wasn't, because like the films that I tend to anticipate the most tend to be like the biggest wild cards, the ones I'm not sure of. And I was never really, I know that Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is in good hands. It's going to be a surefire hit. It's a sure thing. So I wasn't too excited for it. But then I saw this trailer and I just remembered how much fun this world, the Guardians of the Galaxy world, can be. And I'm really looking forward to it now.
It looks like it's well done.
Yes.
I mean, from cinematography to script to acting.
Yeah.
So,
I love these characters.
Right. Yeah.
They're good characters.
Yeah.
And yeah, the song was great too. The worst trailer to be released on Marvel's side, I think, for the year was the X-Men Apocalypse, what they called the final trailer. And that was, if you remember, it was the one, it had a lot of mystique in it, just going like, none of that matters. You're X-Men now.
You're the X-Men.
You're not children anymore.
Get your head out of your asses.
Just because there's no war doesn't mean there's peace. And you know, her performance ended up not being that bad in the film, but I think in this trailer specifically, seeing it just annoyed me.
I definitely remember like leading up into the film, just from the marketing footage, like thinking that I was going to be really annoyed by Jennifer Lawrence, by her portrayal.
And I wasn't, but
not as much as I thought
it was going to be,
or not really at all, really. Yeah,
but it did the opposite of what it was supposed to do. It didn't get me excited for the film. Like it made me not look forward to it, not just because Jennifer Lawrence, but because it seemed like everything that I was seeing just looked kind of bland. And in the end, that's kind of what the movie was. It was just bland.
Yeah.
So I think this one really kind of revealed that. So yeah, worst trailer, X-Men Apocalypse final trailer. But yeah, the Brothers Award, Logan trailer, Fox kind of made up for it. So I think that was good.
Yeah.
So what about DC? DC
trailer.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So if I had to guess the best DC trailer for 2016, I'm trying to think of the trailers that came out. I would have to say the Suicide Squad trailer with the one that had Bohemian Rhapsody. I think that was a pretty good one. Oh no,
that came out last year.
Oh, did it? Yeah. Okay, so then the Ballroom Blitz one, I think. I think Suicide Squad had amazing trailers. I think they were better than Batman vs Superman's trailers. So I'll say I think it was Suicide Squad's second trailer, I guess.
Ballroom Blitz
trailer.
That was a great trailer, but it's not what I chose as my favorite. I chose for my.
Oh wait, you know what? The Bohemian Rhapsody trailer did come out this year because we included it as the intro song for our second trailer.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it goes to the first one. I'll give it to that first trailer that came out.
Okay. Well, still wrong.
What?
I chose the Wonder Woman official trailer 1, actually the most recent one to come out, as my favorite.
Oh, really?
Of the year. Yeah. Just because, like, okay, so this was sort of like a hard category for me because DC had really great trailers this year. Like, they didn't have, like, pretty much like a single bad trailer.
The trailers were almost better than the movie.
Go fuck yourself. But I think the Wonder Woman Comic Con one and this new one to come out I've just been like sort of like in awe of what I'm seeing.
Really?
You know? Like you're
getting you more pumped for Wonder Woman than the Suicide Squad?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the Suicide Squad trailers have good music and like they're exciting and fun, but they don't put me like in awe of anything. Like Gal Gadot looks like she's just so perfect as Wonder Woman. And it looks like it's just gonna be like a really well made film, like Gladiator level. So
temper your expectations.
No,
I tell you this every time. Temper your expectations.
The second one where we see like her blocking bullets and the sort of like opening shot on Themyscira, it was so beautiful. And then like the final shots, like quick cuts of like her like blocking like lightning and stuff like that. I chose that one as my favorite.
Okay.
The runner up, it was a trailer that came out pretty early this year. It was the Batman v Superman official final trailer.
Okay.
This is the one where like the big moment that like for me that really made this the runner up was where Superman throws his punch and Batman blocks it.
Oh,
just like that music cue.
We talked about that.
But there was like a bunch of other really cool stuff in the trailer too. Like so we got to see the flying fox and Superman.
Flying fox.
Not the flying fox, sorry, the Batwing.
That's right. That's the one where he was like it starts off with Alfred going, they're on the second floor, I'll take you on the third.
And then we get the
that was a good trailer.
The scene. They showed a good deal of the scene of where he's taking out the guys in the warehouse.
Yeah, Batman fighting in the warehouse. Man, DC had some fantastic trailers this year.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So that was my runner-up. It was really hard. This was a really hard category. And, I mean, that goes even for the worst trailer.
Yeah.
Picking a worst trailer.
That would have been hard.
Yeah, had to... For me, it ultimately went down to the Comic-Con Suicide Squad trailer. It was very music-heavy.
The Comic-Con Suicide trailer?
Yeah, we didn't even really talk about it during our Comic-Con episode.
Really?
Yeah. There was a trailer that came out, and really, it was cut to music. It was cut to 3 songs from the Suicide Squad album. So it started off with Heathens, and then like you hear like glasses tinking, like when they're in the bar scene to like the music. And then it goes into Sucker for Pain. Then it finishes off with Purple Lamborghini.
I'm pretty positive I didn't see this trailer.
It was the first time we heard Purple Lamborghini because it was supposed to like come out earlier, or I thought it was going to. Yeah. But this is the first time I heard it. It's just a horrible song. I don't like it at all.
Was it the first time that you got the inkling that Suicide Squad might not be a good film?
No. It had to do more with just the cutting of the trailer.
Okay.
It is because like the 3 songs are pretty different. So, it seemed disconnected. And I mean that's the worst thing you could say about any of the DC trailers this year. I think was that this one trailer felt disconnected because of the music.
Well, speaking of music, that's the next award.
Nice, nice segue.
So the criteria for this is so the award is Best Original Music in 2016, and the criteria is that the music had to be written for the film. It couldn't be like a song that they just happened to use in the film, like say Bohemian Rhapsody, which is a great song, but it's not original for the film. So, but something like Purple Lamborghini would be eligible.
Right.
So
I'm trying to think of original music for Marvel movies. I can't think of anything besides scores, and even the scores to me weren't that memorable. I guess there was. We used in the opening to our Civil War review episode. We used the score for that, so I'm going to say that
that wasn't that the score for the
Civil War.
Episode for Civil War was from a trailer, and it was not from the film itself.
Oh,
and that trailer music was not written specifically for that trailer. It's a song called Sharks Don't Sleep.
Shit.
So no, that doesn't apply. So the best original music, I give to Luke Cage. And specifically, I'm giving it to the Luke Cage theme, which I thought was really Tarantino-y.
Like the opening theme?
The blaxploitation kind of.
Like the opening.
Yeah, really funky sequence? With that
really
awesome
good.
guitar. I thought it was really well done. But it's kind of also applies overall in general. I think Luke Cage did really wonderful things in terms of music in general this year. It did the best things with music.
How can I forget that? I suck at this.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole soundtrack, and all the original songs and non-original songs they included in the soundtrack were just amazing.
Yeah, it was a great soundtrack.
And the live performances that they had, that they shot for the series itself were just fantastic. I think
that was like Hail to the Chief.
Hail to the Chief. Yeah, I still listen to that song. It's a great song.
It's a great song
by Jidenna, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, good choice.
I think
good
that's how you pronounce it. So yeah, the Luke Cage theme gets the Best Marvel Original Music 2016 Brothers Award. The runner-up I give to the song "The Master of the Mystic" and credits, which was the end credit song for Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange in general had a fantastic score, but that song in particular is just amazing. It has a very Pink Floyd vibe to it, and it's very. I don't know.
There's like an Eastern vibe to it.
Yeah, it had kind of like an Eastern Hindu vibe to it as well. It was just if it was like Hindu music had a baby with
Pink
Floyd music, and then their baby was just like an epic movie score. That's what you would have with this, and I think it perfectly represents the character. Not even just in this movie, but even the comic book character in general. I think they just nailed it. I think it was really good.
Nice.
Definitely one of the better Marvel scores to ever come out.
I agree, for sure. More memorable ones, I guess. I can't believe I forgot it. But yeah, I think during our review episode, I said it was probably, definitely one of the more memorable ones.
Yeah. The worst music... it's called Pyramid Collapse / Main Titles by John Ottman. And it's the opening theme to X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And really, it's not a bad song. The only reason it gets worst is because it wasn't as impressive as the other music, I think. But the thing that I dislike the most about it is that it tried to go a little Egyptian. It's basically the main X-Men theme from like X-Men 2 and Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
The dun 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 thing. And they tried to work in a little bit of like Egyptian style music, but it just failed. It barely sounded Egyptian. It sounds like they barely tried. The whole theme for Apocalypse, the character himself, was uninspired, I think. It just didn't sound very good. And if I could hum it to you, I would, but I can't. But if you look it up on like on Google Play or iTunes or Spotify, if you look up Pyramid Collapse main titles, or if you look up Apocalypse's theme, you may understand what I'm thinking.
No, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I remember being unsatisfied with the entire opening sequence in general.
Right.
The visuals and the music.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It wasn't very good. So, yep, that's it for Marvel music.
So next one is Best TV Series. Again, this
has... Are you going to talk about DC music or no?
Yes.
If I had to guess the best DC music, I think I would have to give it to Heathens. I just really enjoy that song. It's by 21 Pilot, and it was used in the soundtrack for Suicide Squad. It was written for the movie, or at least written at the time of the movie.
It coincided with the movie. It's in their album. It's an original song that came out in 2016. Is a part of the album. So.
Yes.
I did not choose that as the winner of the Brother Award for Best Original Music. That one goes to "Is She With You" from the Batman v Superman original soundtrack.
Oh, that's the Wonder Woman theme. Yeah.
It's so cool, so great.
Yeah, that was a good song.
So empowering.
A lot of people don't like it.
What?
Well, I guess some people don't like it. I think I shouldn't say that. The majority of people, I think, like it. There is a minority of people that find it annoying, but I don't understand that at all because I think it's just a fantastic song.
Yeah,
I love that guitar.
I really like the Man of Steel theme, and I can never remember the new Batman theme. I don't know why.
I can. It's kind of somber. It's good.
But for me, this one, I can't forget this one.
Yeah.
This one, and anytime they use it in the trailers too, I get so pumped up.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the best intros for any comic book character ever.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I guess it's like a violin, it's a cello or something like that, or violin.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a guitar.
No, no.
Interesting.
It just sounds really harsh but in a good way, not in an annoying way,
badass way,
totally badass. So that wins the Brothers Award for Best Original Music. The runner-up was Heathens.
Okay. Yeah, I like that song.
Just a really cool song.
Yeah. Best song off of that soundtrack, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
I want to say that was the best song off the soundtrack, and the worst song off that soundtrack was Purple Lamborghini. Did that get your worst song?
I hate that song so much. It is my worst. It's my choice for the worst original music.
It really does suck.
Really bad. Like, I expected great things because like I'm not really familiar with Skrillex, but I know like he has a ton of fans. Who's Rick Ross? I don't know.
He's a rapper,
I guess. Okay. But so like I was very, very interested to hear how this was gonna sound, and then when I hear it, it's just weird as hell.
Yeah.
Just like ain't no mercy, ain't no mercy. It's just like, what am I listening to?
Yeah, it's not very well put together, and just like the lyrical content of Rick Ross's songs are just very.
It doesn't like flow. Like it sounds like his segments where he's rapping sound like they belong to a different song than like the chorus, which doesn't even sound like a chorus. It just sounds like noises. I don't know. It might be my taste in music, which I know admittedly like it's not conventional, I guess, but I just don't like the song.
Rose. I
don't know.
Yeah, I have to, that was definitely the worst song for DC.
Yeah,
2016.
Yeah, and then like even the music video, like I was looking forward to that as well. Another reason I was looking forward to the song, Joker really didn't do anything for me. He didn't do anything in the music video.
Right, he just kind of like walked around and.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
I don't know. Disappointing.
Yeah,
really disappointing. All right, now moving on. Best TV series.
Best TV series. So I think I'm glad DC is to a point where they have like a lot of TV series to choose from. Marvel has a lot of TV shows to choose from, so we actually can have a best, a runner-up, and a worst. So, so what do you think is Marvel's?
Daredevil's season 2.
You are correct, sir.
Woohoo!
You got one right.
I get a point.
Yeah, the Brothers Award for Best Marvel Television Series in 2016 I have to give to Daredevil Season 2. Could have given it to Luke Cage or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I think Daredevil Season 2 stood up above those. I think it was a great continuation from Season 1, which I absolutely loved. And this award applies mainly to the first half of Season 2, with the whole Punisher introduction and everything like that. Although I did appreciate some parts of the second half. I like the scene where him and Elektra like try to break into the Hands safe at that one party and everything like that. Elektra was good in some parts and less effective in other parts, but I don't think she was bad. I just like that story a little bit less than the Punisher's introduction. Overall, I think it was we gave it 4.5 stars.
Yeah.
It's one of the best TV shows
I was gonna
out
say,
there.
Like I don't really. I only remember great things about it. Thinking back, it's the best superhero television that's not on television or on television. It's the best.
Yes.
So
yeah, definitely. Daredevil Season 2. The runner-up, I gave to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3. So the criteria for this is it was either a show that showed in its entirety in 2016 or the season that ended in 2016.
Right.
So while I think Season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is probably the best half season that we've got so far, that will count toward 2017 Season 4. Right. So I think Season 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Was really well done between the whole Hive story and Simmons getting kidnapped into the other dimension and us going into that other world where Hive was from and everything like that, and then his appearance in the second half of the season where he takes over Agent Ward's dead body and everything like that. It had some like powerful moments, like when Phil Coulson, the head of the ATAC or something like that, she was like killed like while they were just having dinner. It was like surprising, shocking, like quality TV stuff. I really think that while the series may have the television show may have started off kind of meh, it really found its footing in Season 2 and really hit its stride in Season 3. I love Season 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a little bit more than I liked Luke Cage, I think, as a whole. So I gave it to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The worst television series that I gave for 2016 was Agent Carter Season 2, which people may even forgot it came out this year. It was at the beginning of this year. It came out in January or February, I think, but it just wasn't very good. It didn't live up to the first season of Agent Carter. Well, the character of Agent Carter was really well done. This scenario that they put her in and the overall story just sucked ass. It was not well done. And
are you surprised they didn't do a third?
Yeah, I'm not surprised with how season 2 came out. I'm not surprised that we're not going to get season 3 for Agent Carter. So, yep, that's it for Marvel TV.
Cool.
All right, so DC TV, your best show. See, I don't watch any of these, so this is a hard one to guess. I saw the movies, but I never saw the TV shows. I'm guessing that it's going to be The Flash.
Yes.
Since you seem to talk about that show a lot and seem to like it. So, that was my icemaker, if you could hear that.
sorry about that. The Flash Season 2, yes, you're right. Flash Season 2 gets my the Brothers Award for Best DC Television Series of 2016. If only just because that show is so damn fun and charming, and the villain of this one was Zoom, which like had its own twists and turns and stuff like that. Really, it's a fun show. And the special effects were so great last season. We had do you know who King Shark is?
No.
He's an I guess I don't know if I consider him an Aquaman villain. I guess I would. But he made an appearance on the last season of Flash, and the CG was so well done on him. Really? He was really scary looking.
Is he like part shark?
Yeah, he looked like a what was that shark cartoon?
Street Sharks.
Street Sharks. He looked like a street shark, but scary as hell.
Isn't that cheesy?
You would think it would be, but it looked so real. It looked as I never expected to see something like that horrifying and that should be cheesy because it looked so real. So that was exciting, and the villain was it wasn't as good as season 1, but he was still damn good. The Flash series so far have had some pretty interesting twists regarding their villains, and I guess they even have that in this new season that's on right now. So to see that happen, I don't want to spoil it.
I just the fact that they pulled off a street shark in the show makes me think that either one, the show is cheesy in itself and he wasn't out of place, or two, that's actually there's no two.
Well, no, he didn't feel out of place at all. I mean, because you also have like Gorilla Grodd in this season, and he was really well done. He's scary and terrifying as well.
The second option is that they just pulled it off and they played it so well that it wasn't cheesy.
Yeah, totally.
Interesting.
Totally. So yeah, and again, you watch the show for the cast and for their family dynamic and how they interact with each other. There's a lot of humor, a lot of fun. And we got to go to Earth 2. We got to go to like another dimension, so we got to see like some of the characters that we know. Like we got to see the evil versions of themselves. Okay, it was a lot of fun.
Did Superman guest spot in this season 2?
Superman?
Or, I'm sorry, Supergirl. Or was that last season?
No, Flash made a cameo appearance.
Oh, okay.
In Supergirl season 1.
Never mind.
Yeah. So my runner-up would be Legends of Tomorrow season 1.
Okay. Was that good, huh?
Yeah. This was a hard one because I think it was like on par with Supergirl season 1 as well. But there's just something about a team dynamic that it's like the closest thing to Justice League, well, before Invasion, that I've seen on screen. When you have characters like Firestorm and Captain Cold and the Atom and stuff like that, just working together and like all using their powers at the same time, they go up against these like ridiculous obstacles, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a really fun show, and it's even better this season too.
It looks fun.
So
lots of colors. Just clashing colors and bright lights and things,
Yeah, exactly. It's great escapism.
I'm a big fan of the character Firestorm. I think Firestorm is one of my favorite DC characters.
And the actor who plays Martin Stein, what is his name?
I don't know, but he was an alias.
Yeah, he was an alias. Gosh, what was his name? I know his name. I forget it. Great. Perfect casting. You cannot get more perfect casting for Martin Stein. But like even characters like White Canary and Rip Hunter, I wasn't sure like what to expect.
He's like their leader, right?
Yeah.
Rip Hunter.
Yeah. So, really cool show. Really cool show. Like if Arrow is like the dark show and Flash is the fun show, I guess Legends is just the cool sci-fi show.
Cool.
If that makes any sense.
Not really, but okay.
The worst show that ended in the spring, I thought, was Arrow.
Oh yeah, you hated season 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it started off really good. I thought it started off great. And really interesting. I thought because like the season prior to that was like really shitty too. Like it had the Ra's al Ghul in season 3 as the villain, which was ended up being so disappointing. And then I thought like they were off to a great start at the beginning of season 4 with Damien Dark as the villain. He started off really strong, but by the time we got back after the mid-season break, it just I can't like think of any like specific moment, but by the time we reached the finale, it just like lost everything it had built up. Like Felicity, the whole Felicity character that you hate, I think was like she was as annoying as she was in season 3, just crying all the damn time. Just I mean she's actually not that bad this season, but again, I wish it didn't have to go to Arrow, because this season of Arrow so far is probably the best it's been since season 2. Absolutely, hands down.
That's good.
So I hate to give it to Arrow, but I have to, just because of it was so lackluster at the end. They killed off Black Canary. You don't fucking do that.
Well, I thought they were bringing her back.
Well, the episode hasn't aired yet. We don't know.
Okay,
we're unsure.
Still a shitty season.
Really shitty.
Yeah.
You can't kill off fan favorite characters like that and just be like, I don't know. All right, moving on. The best cinematic moment, I guess you could say.
Best on-screen moment.
On-screen moment. For Marvel, I would have to say, hands down, is the airport battle in Civil War.
Yeah, but I'm going more specific than that. That's a scene, and we're looking for the best moment.
Okay.
So,
okay, wait, let me guess. Within that scene, Giant Man.
Yes, you got it.
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
I did it!
I have to say Giant Man was the best Marvel on-screen moment of 2016. He gets the Brothers Award for that. We all knew that he was going to grow big at some point. The fact that he did it in this film, which I don't think was a surprise for me at the time.
It was spoiled earlier.
Yeah,
I think it was like concept art or something like
that. But
even
just seeing it, the realization of it on the screen was fantastic. Like between the music and Paul Rudd's eyes and his laugh, and like Spider-Man's reaction when he was like, "Holy shit!" and then Iron Man's reaction, he was like, "Give me back my roadie." Just that whole moment, like I don't know a single person that didn't have a huge smile on their face in the theater while seeing that part.
Yeah.
It was just so fantastical, and it felt so comic booky. And the exact reason why we watch these films are for moments like that, moments that just kind of almost like take your breath away with like just wonder and awe and amazement. I think it was a perfect example of that.
Yeah, and Paul Rudd was great throughout the entire scene. I mean, I saw this before I saw Ant-Man. I just recently saw Ant-Man before we did our review. So, it was my first experience, or the first time seeing him as Ant-Man, and so that was fun too. It was hilarious.
Yeah, and he had that great moment where he went into Tony Stark's armor and he was like, "Oh, it's your conscience," speaking. Yeah,
no, but even when he was Giant Man, like when Vision went through him, he was like, "Oh, he just went through me."
Yeah. Everything with Giant Man was just gold.
Yeah.
So I definitely give the best moment for that. I hope we see a lot more moments like that where they just it just puts a big smile on your face and how cool it is.
Yeah.
The runner-up for best Marvel on-screen moment was the stairwell fight from Daredevil season 2. I think it took the hallway fight from season 1.
Oh, absolutely.
And watching the hallway fight from season 1, while still impressive, it doesn't hold a candle anymore when you rewatch it to the stairwell fight.
It wasn't even just like twice as good. It was like 100,000x good.
Yeah, it was at least 10 times as good.
It was great.
It was at least 3 times as long, which was really cool about it. The fact that it was all one shot, and like the camera, how like it moved around Daredevil as he's just kicking ass. The choreography of the fights, just the little moments. Like for me, that moment starts when he like shoots the gun and then realizes there was only one bullet in the gun, and that little laugh that he does, and then just the subsequent kicking of ass, with his chain. And
I still don't know how they did some of that. Like, the chain had to be CG, right? But then again, like, it interacts with its environment.
With the environment, yeah.
And lighting and stuff like that. It's really interesting.
It's so well done. It's one of the most brilliantly choreographed moments in not just television history, but in not just comic book movie history, I should say, but in television history.
Pretty sure someone got hurt in that scene. Like, someone went to the hospital.
You would think.
You can't convince me that didn't happen because it was so real.
Yeah, it was just fantastic. I wonder how many takes they did of it. It must have been
I know.
a lot of rehearsal for that, and kudos on a good job. It could have easily taken the top spot for this category and gotten the award, but
I'm sure it wasn't all one take. I'm sure they children of men it.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Kind of put scenes together, but it was seamless.
Like people flying in front of the camera, and that's where you cut and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, great moment. The worst moment, I think, and the way I kind of thought about picking this one was like the moment that kind of like made me like crinkle my brow and kind of like get upset a little bit. This was the Phoenix Force scene from X-Men Apocalypse. And I think we talked about a little bit of this in the review. I think it's the worst moment because she was able to manifest the Phoenix Force and destroy Apocalypse, who up until this point was the most powerful mutant they had encountered. So she's the new most powerful mutant that they've encountered. Mm-hmm. But there was no fallout from it. Like, it's supposed to put undue stress on her to become like this essential goddess. And yet there was no, like, they didn't do it right, basically. They fucked up again with the Phoenix Force. The fact that she was able to destroy Apocalypse so easily, and, like, they didn't even really address what she had become in the subsequent scene or anything like that. So I'm, like, left to wonder, how are they ever going to run into any type of, how are they going to struggle in any fight when they have this Omega level character, right, beyond Omega level character, who can just, destroy anybody whenever she wants.
Well, I was under the impression that she was just going to be the villain of the next film.
Maybe, but I don't think anybody wants to see that again, at least for a while.
Yeah, that's true. We don't want another rehash of X-Men 3.
Yeah, so like I said in our review, either Professor X is going to have to put dampeners on her psychic ability so that she can't manifest this again and use it as a Deus Ex Machina in the plot, or they're going to have to do a Dark Phoenix. So we'll see what they do.
Yeah.
I think that was the worst part for me. It just was not well executed, I think.
Right.
In a film that was not well executed. So.
Next moment.
For DC.
DC. Shit, I almost did it again.
We could just talk about the Marvel awards if you want to. We don't have to talk about DC.
Damn it. Okay.
Best moment in DC, I think, in the DC films was definitely from Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't too hard because I only have 2 films that came out this year.
I think it had to have been probably the Batman warehouse fight, I think, was probably the best moment.
Yeah.
That's what I would give it to.
Well, that's kind of a scene, right?
Oh, that is kind of a scene. So I guess I don't know, all the punches and kicks that he threw in that scene, I guess.
I thought about going with that.
Yeah.
But then I really had to think hard about
I think that warehouse fight is comparable to the Daredevil fight, not in terms of camera execution, but in terms of like badass choreography and just them being badasses.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to watch those back to back, the Batman warehouse fight and the Daredevil stairwell fight. I think.
Batman would beat the shit out of Daredevil.
No, he wouldn't. No, I don't think so. But
no, so I really just thinking about like what moment got me just like on my feet, like cheering. And that was Wonder Woman's arrival in Batman v Superman when Doomsday is about to blast Batman, and then you're there, and then it stops, and then you just go. I was like, yes!
That was a cool part.
It was really cool. First time we get to see Wonder Woman in costume on screen, and they nailed it. It was so great, and she was kind
of like the slow reveal where she like lowered her hands. Yeah, it was like a close up shot. And she like lowered her hands, and you see her in costume for the first time.
Yeah, and you're like, oh shit, she was using her bracelets, and it's fucking Wonder Woman. And listen to the music, and you just get so pumped up by it.
Yeah, that was a great moment.
Yeah, it definitely brought a smile to my face, at least.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, you listen to people talk about the film, and one of the best things they come away from that film is Wonder Woman in that scene. I remember even I watched it with Mom, and she cheered.
Yeah,
and everyone I watch it with like cheers. My daughter Grace cheered. So yeah, there aren't too many moments in film that could like make men and women both cheer. Yeah. So that was it. For runner up, I had to go with Batman v Deadshot from Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, that was a great moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably the best scene in that movie.
I agree.
Suicide Squad.
I agree. Which is one of the reasons I chose it. I think it was like the coolest. I mean, Batman was really cool in Batman v Superman. Especially with like the warehouse scene and stuff.
Yeah.
But like the most like animated series Batman I've seen was that scene where he takes out Deadshot in the alley.
Yeah, he felt like he was straight from that cartoon.
Yeah, and he doesn't kill guys. He uses handcuffs.
Yeah.
It's Ben Affleck was just great.
It was the most comic accurate representation of the character in that scene, I think.
I think that we've seen on screen.
Yeah.
Ever. Yeah. Just really excited. I don't know how many other people would agree with that being one of the best scenes, but I definitely thought
I think a lot of people liked that scene.
It was great.
Yeah.
And Will Smith was cool in it too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
My worst, I think the worst moment for me came from Batman v Superman.
Oh really? Not Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And if I have to choose like a specific moment and not just a scene, I guess I would go with the
Is it the Martha scene?
No.
Moment? No? Okay.
No.
I'm sorry.
People get that scene so confused, I feel like. Anyway, I'm not going to go on my... Okay. Worst scene...
worst moment.
Worst moment in the nightmare sequence.
Oh,
where Batman's just gunning fools down with a gun.
Yeah, that whole nightmare sequence was just horrible. You're right.
The whole scene was bad.
Like you could even include the Flash part in there too.
Yeah, I mean I want to, but like if it's just a specific moment, I don't want to see Batman gunning guys down with an assault rifle.
Yeah. Who the fuck wants to?
No
Zack
one.
Snyder, apparently.
He's the only one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, that was a good. Those were some good selections right there.
Thanks.
I thought that was good.
Thanks. Okay, now moving on. Getting down to the second half of the list, starting off with the best villain.
Okay.
So best villain in Marvel. Let's see. Who do I have to choose
This was not
from?
easy, I have to say.
I don't think it's Caecilius or Dormammu, so Doctor Strange is out.
Oh, you don't think it's any of them, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm going to say it's... I know that you liked Baron Zemo. So I'm going to go with him.
Good job. Yeah, Helmut Zemo wins the Brothers Award for Best Marvel On-Screen Villain of 2016. The reason I chose him, even though he never showed up in costume or anything, and while his plan was a little bit far-fetched, I think it didn't feel far-fetched, even though it was, and he felt really cold and calculating, and his motivations were very personal, as it turns out. And I think he just did it. I think he gave the heroes the best run for their money, basically, out of all the media.
Well, I mean, all the superheroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, practically.
Yeah, pretty much pitted them against each other, and I just think he did a good job. And the actor who played him, I forget his name, but I think he did a good job portraying like a real world Zemo as the character is represented in this film, I think.
Yeah. It definitely wasn't like the Zemo from the comics.
Yeah, he wasn't like... He didn't have a sword or a mask or anything like that, but he was still... I think they still did justice to the character in how kind of ruthless and calculating he is.
Yeah, I was going to say calculating.
Yeah, so I give that award to him. I think he did the best job out of all the heroes. Runner-up goes to Cottonmouth, actually, from Luke Cage.
Really? Even though he died halfway through?
Even though he died halfway through.
Spoiler alert. Crap.
Oh, shit. It was a little bit more than halfway. But I thought he was just a charismatic bad guy. He was deep and like you kind of felt sympathy for him toward the end. I think they did a really good job building his character.
Yeah.
And while he didn't really pose much of a threat at all for Luke Cage, I think it was cool seeing him do his gangster thing. We don't see a whole lot of gangster bad guys in the Marvel universe, And I thought he did a good job at that. He was a great actor.
I definitely think that the Netflix Marvel shows have some of the best villains of any other on-screen media. Kilgrave.
Yeah, if this was
for Luke Cage, it was Cottonmouth.
Yeah,
it wasn't Diamondback. It wasn't what was it? Black Mamba. What was her name?
Yeah, or Black Mariah.
Black Mariah. There we go.
Yeah.
It was definitely Cottonmouth. He was definitely the most interesting.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, like if we were giving out these awards last year, I don't know how I would choose between Kilgrave and Wilson Fisk, Kingpin. That would be really hard. So I'm glad we didn't do this last year. So worst villain, you might think it's Diamondback, but it's actually not.
Dormammu?
No, it's Madame Mask from Agent Carter season 2.
Oh. Okay.
Runner-up worst would be Diamondback, I think. But but Madame Mask was even worse. She didn't even put on the mask. She I forgot her real name, but like they were like setting it up. She like was hit by the Dark Force and she started developing this scar, and she's a Hollywood actress and she was like trying to cover it up, and you were thinking, "Oh, she's going to put on the mask and become like this, gun-toting badass to fight Agent Carter." And it just never happens. She never even puts on the mask. It just grows. Her motivations are retarded as shit. She like wants to get a nuclear bomb to create an explosion to get more Dark Force power. Like her motivation is just to get more of that power and everything. And it was kind of cool how they like made her. They gave her a sympathetic backstory, and she was smart and everything like that, even though she was just admired for her looks. But the fact that they never capitalized on the potential to be the cool badass character from the comics was really disappointing. I thought they did a horrible job with her. She wasn't always 100% the best actress either, so got to give it to her. Madame Mask was the worst villain.
On-screen villain.
So, yeah, that was the best Marvel villain. As far as the DC villain, best DC villain. See, I didn't watch the shows, so I don't know if any of those guys were better, like Zoom or something like that. So this is my uninformed guess. But if based off of what I did see in the films, I think Amanda Waller was the best villain in Suicide Squad.
I did not choose her as the recipient of the Brothers Award. I gave that to Lex Luthor.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my god, I thought it was gonna be your worst.
No.
Seriously?
Well, are you forgetting like everything he did in the movie? Like, I know a lot of people weren't happy with Jesse Eisenberg's performance, but in regards to like his villainy, he was the most villainous. I think one of the most
annoying. This is the most annoying villain. This is best villain.
No, this is best villain. He makes a senator drink her own piss and then he blows her up.
Amanda Waller straight up shot people in the head for not having clearance.
No, I mean she was great, and in fact she's my runner-up.
Oh,
but back to Lex Luthor.
Okay.
Again,
I mean, he had good moments, like the library scene where he like kind of reveals his motivations, and he had like the whole twisted piss in a jar thing.
Yeah,
it was twisted. He was
a really interesting character. I think his dialogue, his writing, really gave him a lot of like depth. He definitely had daddy issues. He definitely had like God issues, like God complex issues. Mm-hmm. And to me, he was the most interesting character who accomplished the most. He blew up the freaking state capitol building. You know, I mean, I like to talk about like
he was better in the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, I mean, he was more manipulative for sure in the Ultimate Edition. But the fact that like I like to talk about like how DC villains like do a lot of like villainous stuff, like they actually kill people. Like you take a look at like Heath Ledger's Joker or something like that, mm-hmm. where he blows up a friggin' hospital building. I mean, it was evacuated. Or you look at Zod. You know, and how much destruction that led to. To me, that's like the ultimate villainous thing you could do is just kill people. And Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor did that. Like,
I think he was maybe the most interesting villain, but I don't think he was a character that he was supposed to be.
I won't disagree with that. It wasn't the Lex Luthor that I know. He wasn't my favorite version of Lex Luthor, absolutely. But in terms of, again, villainy, I think he was the most successful, and he was the best of 2016.
Yeah.
Runner-up, again, Amanda Waller. She was great. She was one of the few characters in the Suicide Squad film that I had like the least number of problems with. I thought the casting was absolutely perfect.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely better than any previous on-screen version of Amanda Waller we've seen. We've seen a few. This was the most like comic accurate version of Amanda Waller.
Yeah, she was evil.
She was evil, brutal. She just straight up shoots people in the head, straight up stabs, a magic heart, like just like really getting in there with what was she stabbing with, a pen? I don't know. Pen. But I don't know. Manipulative. She was everything that Amanda Waller needs to be. And I'm really glad that they have sort of like established her as like one of these DC big bads, like on par with like, Lex Luthor and stuff like that. And really, I'm really excited to see what they do with her going forward. I hope they use her as often as they utilize Nick Fury in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh yeah,
because she's at that level, and she's really, really, I don't know,
just messed up.
Yeah,
and smart. So yeah, it makes a good villain.
The worst villain I thought was Enchantress.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Just
don't know what her motivation was. She was just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, and the acting was bad, I thought.
Yeah. She could have easily killed them all, but she decided to use like martial arts against them. And
it's like I don't understand that she displays like all these powers, and then when it comes to fighting the team at the end, she decides to use a sword and stuff. Yeah, and I don't know. I didn't think she was going to be the villain of the film, like leading up to it. So the fact that she was, and the fact that she was so poorly used, was really disappointing. I don't think she was a villain that was suited for the Suicide Squad. I think she should have been a member of the Suicide Squad, not its villain. And it just, she's one of the worst things of the movie.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. All right, so that takes us to the best new on-screen hero. Right. And so in terms of picking this one, the people that are eligible have never been seen on screen before.
Yeah,
so it can't be like a reboot.
First time we've seen them.
Yeah, so like I thought maybe I would give this to Deadpool, but he's a reboot of the Abomination that was in Wolverine Origins, even played by the same character, Yeah. And then I thought like Spider-Man's not eligible because he's not a new on-screen hero because we've seen him tons of times already. So this has to be their first appearance on film.
Right.
So who do you think was my best one for Marvel?
Doctor Strange.
Good job.
Yay!
Doctor Strange gets the Brothers Award for Best Marvel New On-Screen Hero of 2016. I thought Benedict Cumberbatch was a great Doctor Strange. I thought he did a wonderful part developing the character. I think Marvel did a fantastic job realizing him for the screen. Everything that his story and everything that he did was pretty sweet. And this like just I don't know, everything about it was great. The great realization.
Benedict Cumberbatch, I think, he did a phenomenal. He's just a great actor in general.
Yeah,
but I could see how he's totally. I agree. He's the best Marvel character to come out.
Nothing really disappointing to say about the character.
No, not at all.
I'm really glad that he's the actor, and I'm really glad that they didn't fuck it up. Basically,
yeah, he pulled off the arrogance. And he pulled off, like, you made it believe, it was believable that he was, capable of, like, pulling out a finger whip, energy whip, and stuff like that.
Yeah, the character had a good arc, and his powers were cool, and just the realization. I don't know what else to say, because, I don't have really any criticisms of the character. Just all
of how he was portrayed.
Of how he was portrayed, yeah. It's pretty much as, it was even better than I could have hoped. For the realization of that character.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, because I've never really been that interested in the character from the comics, but I liked the film.
Right.
So, and it was, because of Doctor Strange. So,
yeah.
All right, well, what's your runner-up?
So the runner-up for new on-screen hero would have to be Black Panther.
Oh, yeah.
He was just fantastic. Right. Another great realization of that character. like he could have even got the top award too, but I gave it to Doctor Strange because he was more fully realized as opposed to Black Panther, who was almost more of a cameo kind of thing, or just a small bit part.
Yeah, I can see
but
that.
Even in those small moments that he had, I loved every single moment that he was on screen. I think he did just everything from, the actor Chadwick Boseman, when he was T'Challa, like his acting was good as T'Challa, and everything from his his origin and the way his fighting style was portrayed and everything.
Fighting
like that.
style, the costume was
amazing,
so badass.
It's like
I want that costume. I want to wear that and just run around.
Yeah,
beat people's asses.
It's cooler than Batman's costume.
Whoa. I might agree with you. I don't know.
It was really well done. The fact that it was so simple and yet so, I don't know, it was so true to the character. Like with the vibranium weave that you could see through the mask and things like that. And it was really cool. Yeah. I think I'm excited for both Doctor Strange and Black Panther's futures. I'm excited for both.
Oh yeah, the Black Panther movie is going to be awesome. Yeah. I saw Creed the other day with Michael B. Jordan. Yeah. He's going to make a great villain. He's a really good actor.
Yeah, he is a really good actor. So the worst new character, I put Psylocke.
Yeah. Yep. Good choice.
And well, there were a few options there.
Wait, have we seen Psylocke on screen before though?
No, we've never seen. There was like a weird iteration of her in X-Men 3. Possibly it wasn't really her.
She was named.
She was an amalgam with some, I don't know, some other character who could turn into a chameleon type powers thing. I don't know. It's weird. She could turn invisible. It was stupid. Ugh. The only thing that you can maybe hint that she was Psylocke was she had a streak of purple hair and that she was Asian. But I don't think it was Psylocke. I don't count that, basically. I don't think it was that character. It was something else. Okay. They didn't name her, basically, as well. Right. So, I like Psylocke. I'm a huge fan of Psylocke, the character. And so I was excited, especially when Olivia Munn was cast, because I think she looks a lot like the character and could have done a really good job, especially when I first saw those first set photos of her in costume.
Oh, I know.
I was like, oh, this is going to be fantastic. This is going to be like such an awesome version of Cyclops.
She's going to be like, Psylocke. She's the one reason I was looking forward to seeing the movie, because I really wasn't that interested. Yeah. But just seeing Psylocke be like a badass, like telepathic ninja. Yes. Was going to be really cool. And then she wasn't even freaking used in the film.
She was barely in it. Like the stuff that she did have was crap. And that's why she gets worst.
So sad.
New on-screen hero. So, yeah. So, DC. Let's move on to DC. DC best new on-screen hero for 2016. I think someone who's never been... is it Wonder Woman?
See, I wasn't sure if I could use her because you have, like, Linda Carter, who was Wonder Woman on screen in the 70s.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, a lot of your characters have been seen on screen. Harley Quinn? I'll go with Harley Quinn.
Okay, you're going with Harley Quinn. Yeah. So I wanted to go with Wonder Woman, but I wasn't sure, again, if she's been seen on screen before, and I decided to go with someone who had a lot more screen time than her, someone in a lead role, and that was Deadshot.
Oh, yeah, he was fantastic.
I would say, like, even more than Amanda Waller, like, he's the character I had the least amount of problems with in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and he's even better than... he was better than I would have thought, I guess, as the character.
Will Smith is a great Deadshot. Yeah,
he was one of the more
characters really cool. Yeah. More interesting characters, because he actually... we got to see his... We understood where he was coming from in the film, with Batman, with his daughter... with everything being imprisoned and the guards and stuff like that.
And he was the only one that actually had a few cool moments, like the scene with Batman and when he was up just shooting all the zombie guys on the cars and everything like that. That was a cool action scene.
Yeah, so like when you have a team dynamic in a film, like it's always good to have like one member of the team like have like this specific role they're supposed to play, one specific moment. Like that's what makes like a good team film. Suicide Squad didn't have that, but Deadshot had that. So he was utilized really well in the film and utilized a lot in the film. So I thought he was the best character. Can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
And then my second choice...
Harley Quinn?
Yes.
There you go.
Just because I can't deny the appeal of her. Like, other than the romance she has with Jared Leto's
they screwed Joker,
that part up. She was great, and she was one of the best parts of the film. One of the most enjoyable and entertaining parts or aspects of the film.
Right.
Smoking hot. And you know, especially like in the extended cut, you see her actually get to use some of her like psychological or psychologist background, I guess.
Yeah, the extended cut did portray her better.
Yeah. So she was my runner up. Looking forward to again Gotham City Sirens. So we'll see how she's the only one from the film we know for sure is showing up again in the DC Cinematic Universe so far. Mm-hmm. So looking forward to that still.
So is your worst Boomerang? Captain Boomerang?
No, actually, no. I mean, in the extended cut, I thought he wasn't well used. I'm not going to lie. When I was talking earlier about how Deadshot was used and how in a team everyone should have something, the only thing Boomerang did in the film was throw a boomerang with a camera, and that like broke. He had no other like role in the film.
Yeah.
But he did have some good funny moments. My worst hero I thought was, I don't know if you, like all of these guys are kind of like it's kind of taboo calling them heroes, but they were like
protagonists.
They were like the protagonists of the film. I thought the worst one was Slipknot.
Oh yeah, he sucked.
He
was totally see
barely in anything. He was like Psylocke in but like even worse.
Yeah, even worse.
He did jack shit. He punched a woman, and then he like said, "Oh really? You think so?" And then he was killed, and that's it. And it's like, he didn't have an opening sequence in the dossier. He didn't, which he should have. He didn't have any kind of like, they didn't show any footage of him imprisoned, which they should have.
Right.
You know, they just really misused him.
Yeah. It didn't matter when he died 1 iota.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with that.
Yeah.
Those are good picks. I like those picks.
Yeah, they're all from Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're coming down to the last 3 awards. This next one is Best Actor.
Best Actor?
So for Marvel, I'm going to say, who did you like the most? It's probably someone from Doctor Strange. It's either going to be Benedict Cumbersnatch or Tilda Swinton, maybe. I'm going to go
Actor. I know she's androgynous, but she is female.
That's true. Okay, we'll go with Benedict Cumberbatch.
No.
What the hell?
Benedict Cumberbatch, don't get me wrong, he's an amazing actor and he did a good job in the role. However, I don't think he was necessarily the only actor that could have pulled that off. Uh-huh. I think there are a few other actors that could pull it off. When I'm thinking, what I thought of when choosing this award is, who so embodies the role so much that nobody else could do it?
Punisher.
No, it goes to Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Hell
because, as Wade Wilson in Deadpool, I got to give him Best Actor because I know a lot of his jokes were just like, look at my balls kind of jokes. But
Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool.
But he is Deadpool, yeah. But he also had some good acting moments, like the scene when he was being tortured and everything like that. He showed like a lot of vulnerability and depth, and when he had cancer and everything like that. And just I don't think anybody else could have done what he did in that. So I give the Brothers Award for the Best Marvel Actor of 2016 to him.
Great choice.
Yeah, I think he was the movie
for sure.
And fantastic stuff. I think
he out of both DC and Marvel. Yeah, I'd probably give it, if we could just give one award, it would probably go to him for Best Actor. I would agree.
Yeah. My runner-up though, you named. It's John Bernthal as Frank Castle / the Punisher. Again, I'm pretty sure other people could have maybe pulled off what he did, but he did such a good job, especially in that graveyard scene. And most majority of this award goes to that graveyard scene. It's the only moment that made my wife cry out of all these Marvel superheroes.
And you admit
Shut up! Well, I was leaking that day. I was cutting onions. But the range that he had between that scene when he was telling the heartbreaking story of his kids and everything like that to the prison scene when he they locked him in the prison and he killed all those people and everything like that. I think
that was crazy.
He's just a fascinating force of nature, and I can't wait to see what he does in his own series coming up next year.
Oh yeah,
totally. Great actor, got to give it to him. So Ryan Reynolds gets the award. John Bernthal gets the runner-up. The worst actor, you may be able to guess this one, goes to Eric LaRae Harvey, who played Diamondback.
Oh, jeez. Yep.
So, yeah, the guy who played Diamondback in Luke Cage, I think, was the worst actor. And I think we talked a little bit about this during our review of Luke Cage. I think the actor kind of his approach was, oh, this is comic book stuff. I'm going to check my subtlety at the door and just be super campy and over the top because it's just fun comic book make-believe stuff, you know? And that's not what I want to see from my actors in superhero fare. I want them to take the approach that this is real and base it in reality. Yeah. And take it seriously.
Out of all of the actors in the Netflix Marvel series, he seems like the most disconnected.
Yes.
He doesn't belong there.
He doesn't belong in that world because everybody else plays it straight. So I got to give him, the worst actor award. Sorry.
No, I'm not. Yeah.
I'm sure he's a good actor in other things. Maybe he just wasn't
suited
and
for this
he
role.
could have been good in this role, but I just think his approach was not right. And that might not even be his fault. That might be the director's fault. You
don't need to apologize. I mean,
stand by your convictions. I've read interviews with the actor and I've seen him in other stuff, and I think he's a good actor. And I just didn't. I don't think he did well here. So
yeah. So DC.
All right. Wait. Let me guess. Best actor for DC. You got to give that to, I think, Batman. Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think he did a great job. Ding. He is, as much as, Ryan Reynolds is comic book Deadpool, Bruce Wayne is the personification, I think, of comic book Bruce Wayne. Or, did I say that right?
Ben Affleck.
Yeah, sorry.
You're confusing the names with the actors.
See, I get their names confused. He's a good embodiment.
Yes. There were, some specific moments, I thought, when watching PVS, where I'm just holy shit, Ben Affleck is a great actor. When he's staring down his bat suit for the first time, and you could just see the anger in his face, and you saw some of that in the trailers too. Yeah. But there's a lot going on in his mind, which I think is great for the character. Yes. You could see it.
Yeah.
Another moment was when going back to the Martha scene. So I think a lot of people get that wrong because they're oh, Batman,
we have the same name.
We have the same mother. Let's be friends. High five. That's not what that was about. He's realizing and recognizing that this alien is actually has some humanity.
Well, not even that for me. I think seeing Superman say Martha, it took him back to the defining moment of his life when he saw his dying father say the exact same thing in the exact same pose,
Right.
So it really shook him to his core, to the core being of who he was.
But the scene, the acting moment he has right after that, where he's taking it all in, and he's realizing that holy shit, this guy is a man. He's not a god. He's not this evil alien out to destroy our world or anything like that. He's a man. I have been duped. I have been manipulated. Yeah. Just that moment, you see it run through his face. So good. Yeah. Really good. Yeah. I have to give major props to Ben Affleck. I think he really got in character. And I think
he knows the character.
He knows the character really well.
And this is surprising because you go back and look at Daredevil, which is really hard to watch now. Yeah. And he does that that voice where it sounds like he's exhaling for every single word. His acting ability between Daredevil and this point is it's completely different. He does Batman way better than he could ever do Daredevil or did Daredevil.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's he really,
and that may be a director.
He's getting better at his craft. I think being a director has made him a better actor. Honestly. Yeah. So I mean, he was great in Argo. He was great in The Town. I just saw what was it, The Accountant. He plays this autistic guy, and I know a lot of people are harping on him because it's that's not really what an autistic person acts like, but I think even in the film it says he's a high functioning autistic person. I thought he did a good job acting. It makes me excited to see Batman. Yeah, he's just seeing Ben Affleck as a badass. And Batman is kind of there's something wrong with him to begin with. Not that there's anything wrong with autism, but like I wouldn't be surprised if Batman was autistic. You know,
Bruce Wayne.
Batman, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Just because of, like, you know, he's
Asperger's at least. Probably.
Yeah. So I thought it was great. He's a great actor. Yeah. Really glad with what he's doing with Batman.
Yeah, and even like his small lines, like even in the Justice League trailer that we got for Comic-Con, where he's like, "I'm real when I need to be. When I need to be. I'm useful when I'm real when it's useful." Or something like that. Yeah. Just I can't even remember the line now, but it's just really good. He sells it. He says it exactly the way I feel Batman and Bruce Wayne would say it.
Even in the Justice League trailer, the opening sequence where he is talking and you feel the gravity of his voice and what he's saying in the words. It's where he's talking about the fish. Like he sells that scene. Like it's a kind of like it could be seen as like
have been hard to sell,
like a dopey scene because it's this guy talking about fish and stuff. But you really understand like the seriousness of where he's coming from.
Well, especially when he sees his face and he's like, "That was last night," and then he looks straight to Orin.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So
my runner-up is actually Henry Cavill. Specifically in the Ultimate Edition of BVS.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think he gets enough credit as an actor for what he's doing with Superman. I know it's not everyone's favorite version of Superman because it's a more grounded sci-fi take, as we've mentioned earlier in previous podcasts. But in BVS, and I thought he was great in Man of Steel too, but he again has those moments, like when he's talking with Lois Lane after the Capitol building, even at the Capitol building, like when he's like sitting in the flames, and you just see the look on his face.
Yeah,
and he's just like so distraught.
That's true.
It's just good acting.
Yeah. Well, he's a good somber actor, which is what the writing calls for, and the direction, I guess. But I think his best moments, where you really see him shine, are the moments where he acts most like Superman and he's smiling and things like that, like at the end of Man of Steel and everything like that. When you see him really act like the character, you're like, wow, this is a great version of Superman. This guy, I think he really understands it. Although the material that he may have may not be to most people's liking. I think that when they eventually get to that part where we get the hopeful Superman, he's gonna knock it out of the park.
You're not gonna want anyone else in that role.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone else in that role.
He's perfect.
I think he's a perfect Superman.
Yeah.
And I think he did a great job with his Clark Kent scenes in the Ultimate Edition. You really understand and get more of an idea of like his character's motivation. Yeah. And I think he does a great job with that, Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
So he's my runner-up.
Good picks.
So my least, or the worst DC actor of 2016, I think,
Killer Croc,
is Jesse Eisenberg.
Thank God! I forgot about that.
So I gave him the best villain.
Yeah, but the worst actor.
Maybe controversial that he's also getting best actor. Just because
worst actor.
Yeah, worst actor is because he's not the Lex Luthor that I don't think anyone wanted.
Yeah.
And while Jesse Eisenberg is a good actor, he really kind of went over the top for this role. He didn't need to do that.
Right.
You could have still had this character be in this role and just be less manic. Yeah. I'm not sure why he went that route.
It could have been direction.
It could have been. But something tells me Jesse Eisenberg had a lot to do with that.
You think?
With that direction specifically. Just because he wanted to be as, I guess, manic.
Joker. He wanted to pull a Heath Ledger, basically.
Yeah. So, while I'm not saying it's a bad performance, it's not just the right performance.
Yes.
Like with you and Diamondback, I guess. It's not, the actor isn't bad. I don't think anyone would say that Jesse Eisenberg is a bad actor, but they just didn't get the character.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that's that. Moving on to actress. Best actress of 2016 for Marvel, I'm guessing.
This is a hard one.
Would have to be. Holy crap. Marvel is terrible with women actors.
They are terrible with women in lead roles. Or even supporting roles.
Okay, you have to give me a hint. Is it from a TV show or a movie?
I'm not going to give you that hint.
Damn it. I don't know, Black Widow.
No.
All right.
So the best Marvel actress of 2016, I gave to Simone Missick, who plays Misty Knight in the Luke Cage series. Oh. I thought she was one of the best parts, definitely the best actress, I think, or best roles in that series. The fact that when I was watching her scenes, it didn't even feel like, a Marvel produced television show. It felt like you were watching like a cop procedural. Yeah. She felt like straight out of Law and Order, and that tells me, but like a good Law and Order. Not that there are bad Law and Order. Well, there's a few, but
are there? I don't know. I don't watch them.
She felt like straight out of SVU. In that she took the role of being a police officer super serious. It felt super true.
She felt really real.
She felt real, basically. Yeah. And I just think she did a great job with it. She had some emotional stuff.
Yeah, and I think she had some like very like progressive stuff.
Very progressive.
Like what character she has, she fornicates on the first episode. It's like, why not? Why not?
Yeah. She's like a woman of the new millennium.
It's like a guy could do it.
She's very assertive. But she's also feminine. She's just the best qualities I think of women but also just a kick-ass character, I don't know. I think she just did. It's hard for me to explain why I like her, but I think if you saw her, you would understand why. If you see her in the role,
yeah.
She was one of the main characters. She's probably like the second main character of the Luke Cage series.
Yeah,
and I think she did really well.
Maybe next to Rosario Dawson's.
Oh yeah,
character.
Yeah, but I think I gave Misty Knight the award as opposed to Claire Temple, Rosario Dawson's Claire Temple, because I think that she was given more to do. She had a more emotional heft in her performance than Rosario Dawson, even though Rosario Dawson is good.
Yeah, I agree.
But
you have to give it to someone,
right.
One person.
Right.
Only choose one.
Yeah. So, she gets that award. The runner-up for Best Marvel Actress goes to Tilda Swinton. I give it to the Ancient One, just because I just loved her character so much. In that she was a badass. She was like a cool martial artist. She was whimsical, but also very intelligent, and she, I don't know, just her charisma, I think, really stood out to me.
It's kind of a controversial choice, I think, because I think the controversy behind the casting is still ongoing. Like, didn't they just have like recent news about like Margaret Cho and her refuting or something like that?
I have no idea.
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, like recently Margaret Cho was on like a Bobby Lee's podcast, and she mentioned about how her and Tilda Swinton were kind of got into like an email spat exchange. So then Tilda Swinton like released the emails, and Margaret Cho was essentially saying like how it's kind of unfair how like Hollywood and like media wants Asian culture, but they don't want the Asians.
Oops!
Oh, that's on you.
That's my computer. I think that's fair to say. I think Marvel did a great job rationalizing why they went the route. And it has if there wasn't the whole Tibet China situation, I think they would have cast an Asian actress.
I just actually recently learned about that, like the whole political approach to the character.
And really, I mean, it's based on greed because they want to make money in China is the thing.
Yeah.
You can't cast someone from a Tibetan actress in a movie that's going to make money in China,
Right, because then they'll be offended.
Yeah, they'll be offended, and they won't release the film in China. The reason they went this Gaelic route, is that the right term for that, is because they wanted to make money in China, basically. Can't fault them for that, but I would have loved to have seen an Asian actress. Going back to the award, I think Tilda Swinton did a phenomenal job in what her role was. Mm-hmm. So...
Any specific moments that you liked?
The scene right before she died, when she went into her astral projection, and they were out on the balcony scene, just talking in their astral forms with the rain and the lightning and everything like that. I love that scene. I think I mentioned how that was one of my favorite scenes from that film during our review of that movie, and that's why the award goes to her. One of the reasons why it goes to her.
Nice. Who's the worst?
Worst actress I gave to, and this may not be fair, but I gave it to Olivia Munn for the role of Psylocke. Because not only was she given just, a microscopic role, but her line delivery, I think, was just a little off, I think. She had like 2 lines, but
I don't even remember what she said. Like, she could have not spoken the entire film.
Right.
And I would have been like, yeah.
But like when she was speaking, well, I don't know. It just didn't feel like Psylocke to me. It wasn't in the British accent, and that's a little bit less relevant. But like she was trying to be this like super tough character, like very cold exterior. And while Psylocke is a badass, she also is not quite. She's not like a thug, which is how I think Olivia Roll kind of portrayed Psylocke, as almost like a thug.
Huh. What's the actor's
Caliban.
Caliban.
Yeah, of Caliban and of Apocalypse, but you could rationalize Apocalypse. But like, so she had a line delivery when they were recruiting Archangel, and she was just like, "This, I thought this guy's different now," or something like that. It was kind of wooden. I didn't like it. She's great. I've seen her in other stuff. She's fantastic, in the newsroom. And I know I just saw Christmas Office Party.
That's right.
That was she was good in that. She's a good actress.
I hear she's great in Newsroom. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, but just I don't know. It was either she didn't give enough to do, and they picked the wrong takes. I don't know what it was. But she, worst actress.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, DC's end.
Best actress, Wonder Woman. No, Harley Quinn. You gave it to Harley Quinn. No, you gave it to Amanda Waller.
Well, which one?
Amanda Waller.
Yep, I gave it to Viola Davis for her portrayal of Amanda Waller.
Yeah, that was great.
I'm not sure I could say anything that hasn't already been said about her portrayal. Yeah. She did a great job. I mean, Amanda Waller has always been like an interesting character in the comics, in that she's not. When you think of like a powerful political figure, you tend to think of like an old white guy.
Yeah.
But, she's a black woman. And not only that, she goes toe-to-toe with Batman. When they had a great scene of that in Suicide Squad at the very end.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see a further dynamic between her and Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne. Actually, right now, they're doing a Justice League versus Suicide Squad comic right now.
Yeah.
There are only 2 issues in, but it's so damn good.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Huh. I'm not reading a whole lot of comics right now, but I'm reading that, and it's really good. If they go that route in the film universe, I can't wait to see Amanda Waller versus Bruce Wayne. And I think Viola Davis and Ben Affleck both got it. They both got it. It's there. So yeah, she's brutal. She's powerful. And
she got the character.
She got the character, absolutely.
It's surprising. You have these actors and actresses who you assume may not be super familiar with the source material, and yet they still get it. They still nail it, exactly who they're supposed to be. Yeah. So I think Viola Davis, she's a great actress in general, but she really got that role as well.
Yeah. So my runner-up is Amy Adams.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was going to say Harley Quinn.
No, I thought Amy Adams did a better job acting than Margot Robbie.
She didn't have a huge role.
She did.
Well, in Ultimate Edition, she did.
In the Ultimate Edition, she definitely did. Even you can say her role was small in the theatrical version either.
Yeah.
She's just a great actress, and I know a lot of people still don't like the fact of how much older she is than Henry Cavill, or that she's not brunette. But who the hell cares? She's a great actress.
Can you think of any standout acting moments that she had in BVS?
Well, yeah, her return from Africa when she's in her apartment, just with the bullet, and she's still you can see that she's physically shaken. And then that's before she goes into take her bath with her pasties scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that I don't. There are some actors where you don't even see the actor in the role; you just see the character. I wouldn't say that's necessarily the case for Lois Lane, but she's a damn good actress.
Okay. I guess I see that. I know she is a great actress. I'm not sure if this role of Lois Lane really stretches her acting ability. So it's really hard for me to think of a scene where she stood out, where I thought, "Wow, that was great acting."
The bullet scene.
That was such a small moment. It was, I don't know.
It was extended in the Ultimate Cut.
It was, but it was, I don't know.
That's what I was thinking of specifically when I chose this as the runner-up. I thought that moment was more powerful.
Name another moment,
or more emotional than any of Margot Robbie's scenes as Harley Quinn.
That's true. That's true. Okay, I can see why she would get above her then. Who's your worst?
Cara Delevingne.
Yeah,
Delevingne as Enchantress. She's not. So she's just coming into the acting game, right?
Right, from modeling.
And I think it shows. She had to play this dual role of both June Moon and the Enchantress. And, you hear all these behind-the-scenes stories.
I thought her June Moon was fantastic.
No, June Moon was mediocre at best.
Oh, I thought she was pretty vulnerable and everything.
I guess. I don't think she sold it as well. Her scenes, the chemistry between her and Rick Flag, especially in the theatrical cut, just wasn't there. Uh-huh. I think they had a hard time acting off each other. And I know the guy who played Rick Flag, what the hell is his name? Joel Kinnaman is a good actor. I thought he did good.
Yeah.
But I think she did not. And you hear stories about how David Ayer made her run through the woods naked during a full moon and stuff like that. It's why?
He's a weird dude.
That didn't do anything for the performance. She can belly dance, I guess, and that was the most interesting thing about her performance.
It was the most distracting thing, I thought.
It was, for sure. It's
weird.
One of the most standout things. But otherwise, there was nothing else there, I thought. She wasn't a compelling villain. Wasn't really a compelling character. The coolest thing, I think, was the hand switch, but that's a special effect.
Yeah, that's not acting.
So she gets that, unfortunately.
Good picks.
Not an award, but she gets that title, I guess, from us.
Yeah, the worst. All right, one last award. I think you all know what it is. It's Best Picture.
Best Motion Picture.
Best Marvel Motion Picture 2016.
Civil War.
Civil War, yeah.
Yeah.
Captain America Civil War wins the Brothers Award for Best Marvel Motion Picture of 2016. I think you all know why. We discussed it at length in our Civil War review, so go check that out if you haven't listened to it and you like the film. Just a great film. It doesn't quite feel like a Captain America movie. It feels more like an Avengers movie.
It's Avengers 2.0.
It's Avengers 2.5, we'll say.
That's what I meant to say. Damn it.
But yeah, everything between the special effects and the writing and the acting and it's all top notch. It's really well done. One of the best comic book films ever made.
And it's hard to say anything bad about it, honestly.
Yeah,
I know. I was reaching in the review. It's just really well put together.
Yeah, no movie is perfect.
Right.
But we rated this a 4.5 out of 5.
Because it's pretty damn close.
It's pretty damn close to being as good as one of these movies could be. So, just a fantastic film.
Yeah.
Runner-up, Deadpool.
Nice.
I gave the second one to Deadpool. Could have given it to Doctor Strange, but I think Deadpool gave us something new and exciting and fun, and I just love that film. It really kind of has almost revitalized the potential for Fox's X-Men movies by itself. And, it's something that I don't think anybody really saw coming except for the fans, the people that helped push it into production. Fox certainly didn't see it, and now they do, obviously, because it's the highest grossing R-rated film ever. Domestically.
I think worldwide too.
Yeah, I think worldwide.
I could be wrong.
But yeah, such a great film. Everything about it. If you want to hear what we said about that, go check out the Deadpool review that we did, because you'll see why. We rated it 4 stars, I believe. 4 out of 5 stars.
Yeah. It was the first film we reviewed since starting the podcast earlier this year.
Yep. And I think the worst. This is probably the easiest to guess.
X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah, worst Marvel motion picture was X-Men Apocalypse. Man, I don't think anybody was expecting much, and it kind of went right beneath those expectations. It didn't, bring us anything new, despite the fact that we saw a younger generation of Cyclops and Phoenix and everybody. it was an uninspired script, uninspired everything. I think
I was really surprised that it came from Bryan Singer, because I thought he had, he's definitely had the best take on the characters out of any of the other X-Men directors, maybe.
Yeah. Well, him and Matthew Vaughn.
Right. But like I would say even more than Matthew Vaughn. But so I was like really surprised to see how wrong he got some characters.
I won't even say this is a bad film. I'm not going to say this is a bad film because it's not a bad film. I'll watch this movie again. I've seen it again, I've seen it multiple times. And I'm not left away super disappointed. I walk away from the film just going, meh. It's not a bad film. It's just a super mediocre film.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
I forget what we rated it. It was like 3 stars, 3.5.
We gave it 3 stars.
3 stars. Okay. Yeah.
3 out of 5 stars.
Makes sense.
Yep. So check out our review of that in our archive as well. All right. So DC. Are you separating the
yes.
extended cuts?
I'm separating the cuts
from the theatrical cuts. Okay. So then I would have to give the best DC picture. My guess would be is that it's Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition.
Yeah. Again, this is an easy category to guess. Hands down, best DC film in a year of films that there were only 2, and both of them kind of disappointed general audiences, I would say. But I would say if you haven't seen the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman, and I know there's a ton of people out there who haven't, because anytime I talk about this movie with someone, they haven't seen it. And I'm like, you have to see it.
Yeah.
It's the only version that exists.
And I know a lot of people balk at like the 3+ hour running time.
Yeah, yeah.
But it doesn't feel like 3+ hours.
It doesn't.
It truly is a better film, and it truly is an actually good film, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a better realized version of Zack Snyder's vision, which I think which many people may not agree with, but at least it's like you don't have to agree with the tone of a film to find that it's a good movie.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't rated R.
It didn't need to be.
Yeah, I don't think a DC film with Superman should ever be rated R.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and it's the best thing that's come out this year. I think we gave it 4 stars.
Yes, the Ultimate Edition. Yeah. If you go back and listen to our review, don't even bother with the theatrical cut.
Don't pretend the theatrical cut never existed.
Never think about the theatrical cut again.
Pretend like you never saw it in theaters.
Yeah, and go and see the Ultimate Edition with fresh eyes.
I cannot. Yeah. It's a superior version in every way.
And pretend like you're seeing it for the first time with the Ultimate Cut. And I think you're if you have negative views of that theatrical cut, I think you'll walk away being finding out that you actually like the film.
Yeah. I don't know how many people are actually going to do it. Just like the general audiences. Because again, everyone I talk to, they're just like, DC, did you see Batman v Superman? The movie was... Watch the Ultimate Edition. Anyway.
It is a different film.
It is a completely different film. My runner-up is...
Suicide Squad.
Even though we say it doesn't exist, is the theatrical cut of BVS.
Oh yeah, so forget what we just said about not... You have to think about it one more time, just for the purposes of us discussing it.
Yeah. Because I didn't walk away from it, the theatrical version. Like, I mean, I was disappointed, but I didn't hate the film. I was more disappointed.
We gave it 3.5 stars. The theatrical cut.
3.5. So I don't know. I don't know how much I want to talk about it, just because I don't want people to think about it. Anyway, that's my runner-up. Worst film. And again, don't even go to the review of the theatrical of BVS. Go to the Ultimate Edition. That's the only version that exists. Worst film this year was the Suicide Squad theatrical cut.
Okay. So you're separating the Suicide Squad theatrical cut and extended cut.
Yeah.
The extended cut was better.
We didn't do a review of the extended cut. We just talked about it briefly because there wasn't really enough that we felt warranted a second review.
Yeah. Because the changes were... We did discuss the changes, but they were not negligible, but marginal.
Yeah.
It only made the film slightly better than the theatrical cut.
It made some of the characters a little bit just more comic accurate in a way, I guess. That being said, the worst, again, goes to theatrical just because it was missing those scenes. It's because the studio fucked it up, you know?
Yeah, we gave that one 3 stars.
I think
Same as X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah. The studio just really, really botched this one. They, didn't like the response from the critical response from BVS, and so that scared them into changing Suicide Squad, and it's completely noticeable.
Yeah.
I really hope that they've learned their lesson from these 2 films, and that they really, in the future, go with the director's vision of what the film should be. Because ultimately, what we've seen from these extended and ultimate versions is that it's a better film.
Right.
And who gives a shit about running time? Because when the film is better, it doesn't feel longer,
Well, I don't want a 4-hour movie.
I'll take it. Give me 4-hour Justice League. Holy crap, I would eat that up. Ugh. Why not?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. If it was good, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
the award. So
we should have ended with the worst. we should have ended with the best.
So on up note, so we have so I'll go down the Marvel list again real quick. Inhuman series best news, Logan best trailer, Luke Cage best music, Daredevil season 2 best television, Giant Man best moment, Helmut Zemo best villain, Doctor Strange best new hero, Ryan Reynolds best actor, Simone Missick best actress, and Captain America Civil War best movie.
All right, and on DC's end, we have Jeff Johns running DC Films as the best news item. Best trailer goes to the official Wonder Woman trailer, number 1. Is She With You is the best song from BVS soundtrack, original soundtrack. Best TV series is The Flash Season 2. Best moment is Wonder Woman's arrival, which is so good. Best villain is Lex Luthor. Best new hero is Deadshot. Best actor is Ben Affleck. Actress is Viola Davis. And best picture is BVS. Ultimate Edition.
Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
All right, so now we ended on a high note.
Yay!
There you go, yay! Thanks again for listening, guys, this year, and everyone who has, told their friends about us and everything like that. We truly appreciate it. Even if you, just post it on Reddit or something like that.
Yeah.
It's truly, truly thankful.
When we first started this, earlier this year, it was kind of like a last minute kind of hey, you want to do this? And now I look forward to it. It's like the highlight of my life.
Aww.
Next to my daughters.
Yeah, every other week it's always a good time. I think we picked the right time to start this podcast now that the DC EU is emerging. And, there's going to be 3 DC films in 2017, 4 Marvel films, I think 4.
Yeah. Maybe more.
And so we're going to have a lot more to talk about, a lot more movies to review from years prior.
Yeah.
And a lot more battle casts to talk about.
For sure. Yeah, 2017 looks like it's shaping up to be quite a great year. So if you didn't like 2016, at least it was a great year for comic films.
Yeah, as a year overall, it was shitty. A lot of election anxiety and then a lot of election depression on my end. But in terms of comic books, man, yeah. And in terms of this podcast?
In terms of being a DC fan, hell yeah.
And a Marvel fan, yeah. Maybe not so much the comics. Comic
book-wise, DC is, I think, since Rebirth, it's just been really good.
Well, Secret War was good, and now actually I don't know what to read.
I heard Civil War 2 was terrible.
I'm reading Vision. It was good.
Well, I heard Vision has been great.
It is. I'm reading that right now. Anyway, so if you have an idea for our upcoming Battlecast matches for 2017, go ahead and send us an email, dcmarvelbattlecast@gmail.com, and we'll pit a DC character against a Marvel character.
Or reach out to us on Twitter @DCMarvelBattle.
Yeah.
This next episode, are we doing a Battlecast or are we doing...
It's a Battlecast.
Or is it a review? It might be a review. I forget what it is. Or maybe we'll just do a sneak peek. By 27, we're going to surprise you. Pretty
sure it's a Battlecast, but okay. So look forward to that. Again, go ahead and reach out to us if you have any ideas. And that does it for 2016. Thank you guys so much again.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Tell your friends about us.
And we'll see you next year.
Up, and away.
True believers.